Dr. Murray's woman caught in a little stain, called his wife in a panic, worried about everything. He needs a $30,000 check. Oh, what a mess. Dear God, don't bring the girls, I'm scared for my happiness. He thought he found love in the darkness of the night, but now he's lost in a web of deceit, trying to make it right. He's pleading to his wife, begging her for forgiveness. Dear God, don't bring the girls, I'm scared of this wickedness. Oh, the sting of deception, it cuts deep like a knife in this tale of love and lies, where wrong turns to right. Dr. Wood's in a bind, he's afraid of what's to come. Dear God, don't bring the girls, just let the healing be done. He thought he found love in the darkness of the night, but now he's lost in a web of deceit, trying to make it right. He's pleading to his wife, begging her for forgiveness. Dear God, don't bring the girls, I'm scared of this wickedness.
Dunn, the coward, couldn't stand the pain. Red SUV blasting through the night. His anger erupted, fueled by a sick delight. Loud beats pulsating, shaking his fragile core. His feeble heart trembles, can't take it anymore. A gun in his glove box, loaded with despair. His twisted mind surrendering to the devil's snare. Echoes of blood-stained night in the face of darkness. We unite from the ashes. We rise above. Violence will never silence our love. Echoes of disdain. Michael Dunn, the coward, couldn't stand the pain. The red SUV, but silence rings through the air. Young life extinguished. It's just not fair. Gunshots and symphony, echoes of pain, hatred and anger is night. Innocence lost, a life torn apart. This tragedy sears like a brand on our hearts. Echoes of blood-stained night in the face of darkness. We unite from the ashes. We rise above. Violence will never silence our love.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Dave. This is FFOP Radio. It's Flamingo Friday. Welcome to it. Here we are. I've got a special one for you. I mean, sort of special. I mean, whatever. You're going to see it. I've seen it a million times. It's a classic, in my opinion. Like, if there were ever to be a Criterion collection of like interrogations, it would basically just be whatever, the dozen that JCS did. This is one of them. Krista is my co-host and producer right over there off camera.
Hi.
It's well, here's the thing, Ryan. I was like, I really want to wear this shirt, but it's missing a button, so I have to keep, and I don't want to button it up to my damn neck. So, pretend it's the 70s and just relax. Give yourself a Mai Tai. Anyway, moral of the story is we're going over the Michael Dunn interrogation. So a little background for him. Michael Dunn went to a wedding for his son. He got like trashed on rum and cokes.
Nice.
His fiance at the time, they do the wedding, yada, yada, yada. They leave. They're going back to their hotel to let their dog Charlie out to walk and everything like that. But they stop at a gas station to get some more booze, pick up some wine and whatever. So, in reality, it'll all come out in the wash as we go over the interrogation. But the highlights are, he's already buzzed on rum and cokes from the wedding, gets into this parking lot to buy wine for his lady, sees a red SUV, hears the loud music they are playing, and parks deliberately next to them.
Of course.
Like every other like pasty white dude, like Michael Dredka. Here we are, another Michael. He got a big, sack on him when he realized he had a gun in his glove box, and he was plastered.
Good decision making.
Yeah, basically, It somewhere in the middle, I'm sure, but it just feels like the kids were in the parking lot doing their thing, whatever. Kids are annoying. I was a kid. I was annoying.
Yeah.
The detectives will go over it. But it just feels like Michael Dunn was so trashed and did not want to take... He probably is just like a loser in his real life, or before he went to prison for the rest of it. Mm-hmm. He's probably just one of these beat down dudes who got too many rum and cokes courage, and then, couple that with the Glock in his glove box and the fact that he has a military friend, which they always do.
Yeah.
They always have a friend in the military who shows them how to shoot and like when's the appropriate time to kill someone at a gas station.
Yeah, when their music is just a little too loud.
Woof. And it's like, it's a real tragedy because like it was unprovoked. It wasn't like they were even getting in his face. Like they were there already. He showed up and like shouted at them through his window.
Nice.
And,
it's like a muffled, I have a gun in my car.
well, no, it's not even
down.
that. Like he whatever, we'll see it, but he rolls down the window and like, in this that's the thing. If you watch this interrogation with me or by yourself or whatever, also couple that later with watching him on the stand. Because here he'll be like, there was a gun or a stick, or he said, I'm going to kill you, bitch, or fuck that bitch, or whatever. But like, it's very like wishy-washy. But on the stand, he's like, they said they were definitely going to kill me. But by then, it's like, I mean, dude, you shot 3 unarmed kids. Like, holy shit. Anyway, here we go. This is like basically in situ. We're right on the tail end of the Mirandas. Also, a little context here. So after he shot the kids, his girlfriend was like, what is going on? Runs out. He's like, get in the damn car. They drive back to the hotel.
Get in the car.
They get back to the hotel. They order a pizza. They take it easy for the night. His girlfriend or fiance doesn't ask a question about the thing because he's like, They eat their pizza. They drink a little. But that's the thing. He left the scene of the crime. Mm-hmm. And the kids like basically jumped out of the parking lot and then back in because they knew one of them had been hit, and it was like,
Yeah.
So like this is I can't remember if they found him or he finally turned himself in, but they'll bring it up too. They'll be like, "Well, what the hell?" He's like, "I just felt like I'd be more comfortable turning myself into my own."
I already don't like his voice, and I've never even heard it before.
He's a douche.
You have the right to stop answering questions at any time and consult with a lawyer. Okay. Do you understand those rights?
No.
Okay. You can just sign where it says signature, and by signing there, you're just acknowledging that I went over your rights with you and that you do understand your rights. Okay.
I understand.
I'm gonna move myself over here.
Brevard County, right?
Yes. I'm using 1,500 more.
Okay.
Nice shorts.
I love this detective because he's gonna be the mean one of the group, and he's not even like very mean. He's not like I don't know who have we seen who was super aggressive. He's just like, hey man, like what the fuck? Because he's like, what we're gonna do?
Just gonna get some basic info from you first.
I don't like lawyers.
Info. I don't like lawyers. I'll tell you the truth. I don't like lawyers.
And what's your birthday?
Beep.
And what's your current home address? You have a cell phone? Where do you currently work at?
Boop, boop,
How long have you been
boop.
working for them? How long have you been working for them? Are you from this area originally, or?
I don't know why I find this everything redacted that he says, but they leave in the questions. I don't know why I find that so funny. Every time I watch this, it's like one of those montages of like an interview at a job where you're just getting the side where all the questions are, and the guy like getting the interview is like, It's just like so funny to me. I don't know why.
I was, and then when I lived in California, I was a 49ers fan, and now I'm a Bucks fan. And the Jaguars.
Yeah, none of us are Jaguar fans. No, there are no such thing.
We've been up all night looking for your ass, Michael.
Just anybody who plays the Dolphins.
Okay, I can live with that. Obviously, I just kind of want to talk to you about
Obviously.
what occurred last night up in Jacksonville. But I'd like to kind of back up to, when did you come to Jacksonville?
Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving Day. Okay. And what was the reason you came to Jacksonville?
My son was getting married on Friday.
Oh, okay. He was getting married on Friday.
Yeah, and we have a small dog that we were going to travel with.
Mm-hmm.
Who he cried over more than the kid he shot and killed, by the way. Like, he cried on the stand over his dog, but not over the boy he slain. But, like, how fucking awful, too. Like, imagine, like, I don't want to, like, say, you know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but, you know, since Michael raised him, I don't know if his son is any better than Michael, but let's say he's a totally fine dude. And, like, now, the day of his wedding, like his anniversary, will now be the same time he gets to remember his dad shooting up a trio of kids in a parking lot for no fucking reason other than, like, he got shit-faced in Jacksonville.
At his wedding.
Yeah. And like, hey, happy anniversary, son. Still in jail and will be forever. Bye.
And the check-in time was right around the time of the wedding on Friday, so we thought we'd go up early on Thursday just to be there already.
Okay. What time was so you came up Thursday. Where were y'all staying?
We were staying at the Sheraton.
Okay. Do you remember where?
Not the Ritz,
Deerfield,
obviously.
but
Sheraton.
The Sheraton, because there's only one in Florida. Jacksonville.
One in Jacksonville?
Jacksonville.
The
What time
Jacksonville
was the
Sheraton?
4.
4. Okay.
Not the
So
Apache
during the
Junction
day, you
Doubletree?
prepped up for that, getting ready for that. Where was the wedding at?
While all this boring stuff is going on, we're watching this via the Interrogations YouTube channel, where all they do is do this raw. So if you don't watch this without me talking about it, check that out.
They're doing it raw.
Okay.
Very nice.
No rubber.
About how long do you stay there?
I don't know, but we were on our way back to the hotel when we stopped at that store.
When the event occurred.
How long were you at the wedding? I don't know. But we were on our way back. I don't know. That's a weird way to answer that question. How long were you there? I don't know. But by the time I was shooting the kid, we'd left.
Yeah, we were on our way back.
What?
And let me back up for a second, just back to today. Let me just so I can verify a couple. Are you you take any prescriptions or anything like that? Any kind of?
I do, but it's anti-inflammatory for my lower back.
He's got anti-inflammatory for his back, and positive inflammatory for his Johnson, because that thing don't work very good.
I hold PWP. I've been on private pilots. I'm good upstairs. I'm a computer programmer.
Okay.
Not
Any
anymore.
alcohol or drugs today?
No, sir.
Okay. Just have to make sure, just kind of want to make sure you and I can just make sure we're having a
What
lucid
time is it?
conversation.
It's like
is
10
all.
a.m.
I
Exactly,
don't
that's when
have
they picked him up.
much sleep.
You don't have to tell us.
Reading the news reports, what the aftermath was. I didn't sleep very well last night.
Okay.
Yeah, and who could blame you, right? Like, oh boy, and, you know, all the excitement of your son's wedding, and then the cherry on top of that Sunday is you try to attempt a triple homicide. Like, yeah, I'd be pretty wound up at the end of that day.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I can understand.
We haven't had any either.
So, yeah, we're right there. We're right there with you.
Somebody who takes 800 milligrams of anti-inflammatory every day, I get it. I think I need some
Okay, so
anti-inflammatory.
you go to the wedding, and you guys are headed back to the hotel.
Why do you
Do
shoot
you
the
remember the
kids?
route you were coming? Do you know the
Oh,
name of the
God,
roads that
this
you were
part.
on, or
And on my phone,
you just follow the directions on the phone?
Not from
Okay.
here.
And you decided,
95.
Going to Atlantic City. You know, I'm not a driver at night. It's my son's wedding.
Get off on wherever to.
95.
95 up to probably Bay Meadows,
That sounds familiar.
Got
and
it.
then hang a left on
Nailed
South
it,
Side. I think,
sir.
or you keep going on
Do you
Bay
know
Meadows, I don't remember.
Detective Descartes? I understand he's in Florida.
Whatever road we were on, we went straight until we turned down to Deerfield.
Do you know Sarah
Okay.
Boone at
Okay.
all?
So you pull into the gas station. Okay, what was the purpose of stopping at the gas station? So just
More wine. I don't know why they excluded that. What's her nuts? I don't know her name. She wanted more booze to take back to the hotel room. Like, there was an open bar at the wedding, and they're like, oh, let's father, son.
kind of walk me through, just tell me from your point of view what you guys pull up. You're driving, now it's your car, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're driving?
Under the
Okay,
influence.
it's a Volkswagen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The
You sit in
Jetta?
the passenger seat, no one else in the car with you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just kind of walk me through kind of what happened at that point.
Yeah,
Well,
I was the
I'm
victim.
embarrassed to say this, but
I
got
shot
out,
somebody.
he's in the store, and there's like a SUV next to us, and then the music starts, and I roll down my window, and I thought I was polite. I asked them nicely. I didn't demand. I didn't. Or else I said, hey, would you guys mind turning that down?
Like,
Who
just
cares?
if you have limited, if your only experience with this man is this tape that we were watching, does it feel like that has any truth to it?
No.
Like the way he's sitting there and like, yeah, sorry, not a fucking chance in hell, right? Throw one like rum and coke down this guy's gullet, and he's probably an uncontrollable dick.
Turn that shit down.
And they shut it off. I was like, thank you.
I tried offering them fruit.
A hug.
Cordial. Everything's
Hugs.
cordial. I put my window back up. I'm doing my stuff.
You know, the
And,
stuff you do in a car
What are you
while
doing?
you're waiting.
I don't
Right.
know how many kids are in that, but the windows are down for the back seat. The windows are up for the front seat.
Okay.
And the guy that was in the back is getting really agitated.
Just really quick, because I'm watching this detective's hands move across this notepad with this like giant Super Bowl ring, by the way. Jesus, love that shit. But like, do you think he's writing like literally about the windows? And like, who's gonna need these notes later? Like,
He's writing a shopping
is
list.
is it for effect? Like, because you need to be like seen physically engaged? Because like, seriously, who's gonna flip through that? You know, we've all seen the noir detective films where they pull out their little notebook and they go, oh, yeah, I found a cigarette butt on the corner, blah, blah, blah.
Brr.
But, like, you think he's going to get called in, like this detective specifically? He's like, can you read from your notes? He's like, yeah, it says here that the windows in the back were rolled down. Flip. Jesus. Great.
And my window's up. I can't hear everything he's saying, but, there's a lot of fuck him and fuck that and fuck that bitch. And then the music comes back on. And, I'm just like, live and let live and
Sure.
don't need any trouble.
I mean, obviously, that's why you rolled your window down to hassle these kids. And then, like, after they told you basically to fuck yourself, you go, well, hey, live and let live, man. Well, then how do we get here, Michael?
And
He's
and I
doodling
don't
Michael
know
in
if
a
they're
noose on the
singing or
gallows.
what, but it's like, They're saying
I would just love. Obviously, it would never happen because it would like they'd throw this case out immediately. But like this would happen in the world of The Simpsons, where like he turns his notepad around, and it would be like if Homer were in the hot seat, it would be him like hanging, and he's like, "Meh." I would love it just once, even if throws the case out, like for the sake of comedy, people.
and kill him. So I put my window down again, and I said, "Excuse me, are you talking about me?"
Live and let live.
And it was like, kill that bitch. And you know, I'm still not reacting, but then this guy like goes down on the ground and comes up with something.
Okay, so that's the first. I was hoping because it's been a while since I watched this. Full disclosure, I was hoping that he actually said that they came in after him, but he didn't. So he had just willful omission. It's like, well, there was this SUV next to me. Who got there first, and why did I pick the empty spot next to them instead of the 8 in the other direction as far away as possible? You know, whatever. Live omission, my personal pet peeve. But no. There were a bunch of witnesses and cameras because gas stations get robbed all the time, so they're covered in 4K cameras. Mm-hmm. Nobody, no person nor digital recording device found nor saw nor experienced a stick, a barrel, a shotgun, a magic broom, nothing. It
wand.
never happened. But it's going to start out as like he reached down and pulled something up and it was a shotgun, and it's eventually going to get whittled away to maybe he was holding a stick and there was no fast movements whatsoever. He was just like King Cobra JFS, a wicked wand enthusiast.
Nice.
I thought it was a shotgun.
Yeah,
and he
there you
goes,
go.
"You're dead, bitch," and he opens his door.
No, didn't happen.
And I'm shitting bricks. But that's when I reached in my glove box, unholstered my pistol. I mean, I practice this. I'm at the
Hero
Fort
story.
Malabar rifle and pistol range. I'm an avid, gun guy
person.
and all that. No,
I'm an avid. I'm one of these gun owners who's just begging for the opportunity to shoot someone who looks like the dude breaking into a house on the ADT commercial.
Yeah.
Give me an excuse, bitch. 17 years old and loud music. That's a punishable by death. I'm Michael Dunn.
Like, I feel like a person that's an avid gun owner or gun, like going to the range and stuff, wouldn't just have a pistol in their glove box. They'd have them like in their house in a safe.
You can't say that because they're going to be all over the place, and gun nuts are going to be gun nuts, even if you're just a casual one. But it's not a matter of like that's. There are two ends of this spectrum, right? Where you be one of those gun owners who owns 1 or 1 million, but you like pay attention to the letter of the law and you're always very strict about it. Then there are dudes like this on the very opposite spectrum who think they know the law, who think they know exactly when deadly force is applicable. And they don't. And the only thing that keeps them from being a murderer is not being slightly physically jostled like Michael Dredka or hearing something over 32 decibels for Dunn here. Like, the fuck? Yeah, it was done.
Done.
You're done.
Right.
I feel like having a gun in your glove box is like the worst place for it.
And so,
If your car gets broken
quicker in
into
the
it, like,
flash,
He was at a
hello.
wedding. Like,
Just in general. I'm not saying like.
well, yeah, but that's the thing. If people are going to break into your car, yeah, they're going to steal your shit in there. So don't leave a loaded gun anywhere in a vehicle.
Right.
So yeah, obviously. But he went to a wedding. He probably likes to carry it around because he likes the feel of it on his hip because it makes his nuts feel a little heavier.
I had a round chambered in it, and
If you're serious about killing people for justifiable reasons, you always keep one in the pipe. I don't know, I used to carry guns. We're in Arizona. You go through that phase. For my entire life, I've never felt threatened enough to pull a gun, but, it was fun carrying them for a while. I just, after a while, you go, God damn, anywhere between 1 and 4 pounds of extra weight hanging on your hip, and you go, no one's really hassling me. No one's ever pulled a knife and said, give me your wallet. Like, this isn't, Jason Goes to Manhattan era New York City. I'm fine.
I shot.
They should dramatize this on Law and Order. Dun dun.
Do you remember how many times you shot?
4.
Okay.
It was way more than 4. Because, like, I think he fired 3 times when they were parked there. And as the kids were reacting and, like, driving away, he was firing.
Of course.
So I think he fired over 7 shots. And the majority of those were as they were trying to escape his assault.
Crazy.
Okay, just keep walking me through kind
All
of what
right,
you
well,
remember.
I shot 4 times, and that SUV pulled out, and like I said, in my mind, they got a gun. And so, you know, not training, just from, I was still scared.
Mm-hmm.
And so I shot 4 more times.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
As they were fleeing?
Yeah, trying to keep their heads down to not catch any return fire.
Okay. All right, and then...
And that
All right.
that was it. I mean, I still didn't feel safe. I thought, you know, there was another car. I didn't know.
That's the one thing about, like, these idiots. Like, there's, whatever, pasty white dudes in fucking shorts. Like, that's what it boils down to, is, like, this is the exact cookie-cutter type of person you go, this is the type of dude who's just waiting for someone to give him a reason for them to get thrown in jail for the rest of their lives. Because they think that they can stand their ground, or the castle doctrine or whatever. Like the guy who went out to the back of the building he owned, saw a dude taking a leak on a building he didn't own, got involved in the situation, and ended up shooting the dude dead for literally no reason. Because he was shit-faced. Here we have Michael Dunn. There we go again. Michael Dredka. All these dudes running around just waiting for that reason. And, you know, I don't know what Michael Dunn here does for a living, but most of these dudes are just like part-timers everywhere.
Ryan resembles the remark.
No,
of,
I know. But that's the thing, Ryan. Like, you're not one of these dudes. Like, you're a Popeye fanatic. I'm totally fine with that. Like, you're never going to, like, get angered by someone and, like, pull out a can of spinach and, you know, beat him to death with your giant forearms. I mean, you know, maybe you'll knock him over the back of the head because, you know, it's portable weapon. It's on theme. It's on brand. It's up to you, though, you know.
No. I mean, I'm in a strange town, in a strange area. I just had my life threatened. The love of my life is in the store. And she doesn't know what's going on. She come outside to see what was up. And I was just like, get in the car. We have to go. I just didn't feel safe there.
I wildly that was the thing. That was the thing I was going to say. They always think there's more coming. Like, they're always the ones with all the firepower and just destroying everyone around them. But
they're coming back for me.
it's kind of like those robots in Futurama that, like, just like when they hear something, they turn and just kill their friends. Mm-hmm. But like with again, not to keep bringing up the same Michaels, but Dredka thought that, like, once he got pushed, he was then, you know, on the hook for a huge beating from this dude who had already turned and was walking away. And, like, here we are with Dunn, where he's like, yeah, of course I shot the car. And as they were driving away, I kept firing because I didn't know if that car would, like, have babies or if, like, just a fleet of other red SUVs would come out from behind the quick stop because that's what the plan was.
Right.
Like, what sort of organized crime is setting up the sting of, like, have one car up front playing loud music, and when they get fired upon, that's when we all swarm Michael Dunn.
Yeah.
So we can take him down at the risk of killing up to 3 of our members. Yeah, it's great.
Ryan, this took place November 23rd, 2012.
Yeah, it's relatively old, but I mean...
In fact,
Fosco says
we had
unrelated,
plans
but I got to use
fairly
a
expensive,
RAM set at work the other day. Shit was fun.
I've been on the job, but I don't know what a RAM set is.
what happened last night.
Explain.
We were like, we have to go home and call the local sheriff and tell him what's up.
Well, where'd you go after?
We went right to our room.
You went right to the hotel?
Yeah, we went right. I didn't want to break any more laws, so I went right to the hotel room. I had her pour me another 7 rum and cokes.
We went to sleep.
The meat lovers gave me a little heartburn.
We were just
Stayed in the hotel
sitting
room?
bricks waiting for another carload of thugs to come. I mean,
Yeah, and that's the thing. His story is so preposterous that he makes it back to the hotel room and has another 7 drinks because he thinks that they are like, who are you, Michael? Like,
Look,
are
he's a
you
private
related?
pilot. He knows people.
Right, but like, on what planet is like this ring of organized thugs? Because again, it was all over music. They never, like, it wasn't a James Bond style heist where he's driving along and there's like a weird van next to him, and like, you know, there's steel cables and hooks and pulleys involved, and there's like a car chase, and like Michael Dunn doesn't want to give up his bottle of $2 chuck that his poor fiance just picked up at the QT.
Yeah.
No, none of that. Like, you hassled them over the music. It wasn't like, you know, they're not coming to break your legs because you owe them money.
Right.
Like, on what planet? Oh, like, and obviously it's a bullshit story. It's the one he cooked up while he was having the 7 drinks and trying to choke down his meat lovers.
Yeah. The kid was 17 years old.
But like, how fucking preposterous! Like, yeah, I'm just waiting for him to like just pull up to the Sheraton. Yeah. Oh yeah, and like in his mind, it's just like a classic, you know. Because I'm sure he never says he is, but I'm sure he's a racist. Like, he just imagines like a fleet of like between like 67 and 74 era like Impalas and like Monte Carlos is just like covered in purple and sequins and like velvet, and a bunch of like disco people are gonna come beat his ass.
Yeah.
Like, where are we, Michael? You shot children.
I've never been so scared in my life for somebody to be, you know, I thought they were singing.
Imagine having such a simple and easy life that the time you're the most scared in your conservatively mid-50s here for Michael, the time you're most scared is hearing loud music in a parking lot.
Yeah.
I envy you if that's true.
Right?
Like, you're gonna
Fucking-
die, bitch. I thought that, you know, and then it's getting a little louder. That's when I put my window down and was like, you talking about
This
me?
guy?
You talking to me?
And that's just like, you're dead, bitch.
YouTube keeps censoring
So
Flasco's answer for what a Ramset is.
went over this a million times.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to look it up
I
now.
should have done.
I don't know.
Now I need to know.
How to help you. Why? Well, is it that bad? And you used it at work.
It's just a nail gun.
Oh, maybe you can't say gun in chat. Okay, so yeah, a Ramset. Okay, yeah, okay. I was never a framer. I've seen them be used, so I get it. They are cool. It's the only tool. Yeah, it's the only tool on the job site that uses like 22 caliber blanks.
Yeah.
Like, part of me, because again, back when I was owning guns and actively like shooting at shit out in the desert, part of me wanted to just like steal a shit ton of those 22 blanks because we had 22 revolvers and long rifles and shit like that, and I just wanted to like load some or at least one into either one of my friends or my brother's gun and be like, yeah, do some target practice, and like have him just like
Shoot.
miss like the target every time, obviously because they're blanks.
Should have done is put the car in reverse. But a shot.
I spent some time in low voltage. I still never got to use like ram sets. Like when I went from, I mean, you wouldn't call it high voltage, like 110 they call it, but it's technically 120. When I was doing that, or technically sometimes I would do high voltage, never got to do that. And then when I went to low voltage, I went from even like basically nothing to zip ties. They're like, hey, we're running 3 to 5 volts. Like, pull your head out of your ass. Here's a bag of zip ties. Now run the fucking cable.
Shotgun come up or whatever, it was fight or flight. I don't think there was any time for flight at that moment. It was, I was going to get shot.
There was no time, even though the people you were firing at took 4 bullets, even though one of them was supposedly readying a shotgun. And then you had time to fire upon them 4 more times as they fled in fear. Radical.
Pascal says, I've been doing this for a decade, and it was my first time, too. The crew I was treated... The crew I was treated like bitch work. No one wanted, so I jumped at the chance.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah, there are times on various jobs where you get to do something that's outside your skill set. So, Yeah, I used to jump at the chance, but I'd also jump at the chance to be lazy sometimes because you're low voltage, Fosco. You maybe can identify this, but like we were working on this huge concrete structure that had a mezzanine level that was 3.5 feet tall. And guess who got to like wire up all the variable air valves or VAVs in that mezzanine? It was yours truly and a buddy of mine. So we would have to spend 8 hours a day in a concrete space with lights that we had to bring that was 3.5 feet tall. And so I would have to sit on my box of Cat 5 or whatever conductor I was pulling with my head sideways, because if you had the hard hat on, it would hit the top of the thing. So, after a few months of this, we got disgruntled. So all the mostly empty boxes, we'd sort of just like crush and form to our bodies and take naps every now and again.
There you go.
Which wasn't super pleasant, even though I was not doing work. It was still 108 degrees in this concrete coffin we were working in.
Hi, Tony.
Okay.
What's happening, Tony?
So they pull out, as you said, you shoot to kind of keep their heads down as they're pulling out. That kind of your intention? That's your thought process?
They have a shotgun aimed at me, and
Okay.
I don't want them shooting.
No shotgun. Bullshit. But this also, I've been watching a lot of Have Gun Will Travel recently, and it really glorifies the Old West because, like, humans are humans and they're going to do dirty shit no matter what. But only on TV will people, like, refuse to shoot you in the back because it's, like, yellow.
Yep.
Like, Michael Dunn doesn't feel bad at all shooting 3 dudes in the back, driving away as fast as they possibly can because they fear for their life. And Paladin will look the shadiest looking heroin addict cowboy in the eye and be like, you won't shoot me because that'd be yella. And he turns around and like leaves his back exposed for the length of a football
Right.
field.
And like they schedule when they're going to do their shootout.
It's insane.
Well, like next
Whatever.
Tuesday.
It's all going to be nice and legal because you're going to draw on me and he's going to be the witness. Yeah, like that happens ever.
Right.
Good night, Ryan Maxwell.
Good night,
I'm
Ryan.
shooting it.
Okay. And then gets in the car, you guys leave and drive and go back to the
I
hotel
don't know why they
room.
keep censoring her name.
And you guys just stayed in the
Like she's
hotel
a
room.
child.
She doesn't want to be
At that point,
involved.
Did you go anywhere else?
No, we ordered out.
Ordered.
We got pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza is like the murder meal. It's like
easy.
it's like the Publix of food.
Yep.
Because like Scott Nelson, he killed what's her face, that poor old nanny. Like threw her body in the trunk and stole her $40, and he's like, yeah, it was blood pizza. All of this is hallucination. Oh my God!
You need to wake up.
Here's the thing. Sometimes I feel like that might be the case. Have you ever had one of those wake up from like half consciousness, like so hard that like you almost threw all your bones out of alignment because you were waking up so hard? Sometimes I feel like one day or sometime I'll wake up and I'll be 23 still and just like this close to death because, some dude keeps shitting in all of the water jugs, and no matter how much duct tape and marker they put on to prove it hasn't been moved, turds keep showing up in there. So I refused to drink their water, and I ran out of my Gatorade.
And what time did you check out this morning?
8, I
8.
think. When you
Fosco, will you be my fry to my hallucinogenic Leela?
called early this morning, we had just got home,
Mm-hmm.
and I unpacked a few bags, and
And then I was eventually going to, we had to feed the dog, unpack the bags, check the answering machine, get to the mailbox, because, long weekend, even though it was a holiday. Then I was totally going to call you guys about the
where,
murder.
Our neighbor just down the way is a real good friend of ours, and he's in the government in some capacity.
I mean, that he could be a local comptroller or the president.
Right.
Somewhere in between. Obviously, he's not the president. He's living next to
The
fucking
secretary.
Michael Dunn. He works in the government in some capacity.
He's a maintenance worker.
Yeah, he works for the local Parks and Rec.
He's in law enforcement. I don't know which branch.
Right.
He enforces
But we
trout
were
law.
going to go, talk to him and like, do Do you know?
So wait, were you gonna call the local sheriff because you felt more comfortable where you lived, or were you gonna go ask your neighbor, like because you know a doctor, and if you ask him why your balls are so pink and tender, maybe he'll tell you for free? Yeah, like exactly. Like if I had chlamydia, I would want to ask like the nurse practitioner friend I had what chlamydia looks and or smells like, but. Eventually I'm going to have to go to a real doctor. And, like, you can't just kill someone and be like, hey, on the DL, like, let's say, hypothetically, I fired 8 shots into 3 innocent people.
Know anybody in the sheriff's department that we could talk to? Because
You just call their either the non-emergency line or 911. Both
Yeah,
would
they'd probably
work.
both be fine.
Yeah, they would take your complaint and or concern very seriously at either number.
I didn't want it to happen the way it did. The way it did is sheriff came with AR-15s, and so I was trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
And just the thing, like, same states, right? Federico Gondola killed Mr. Roosevelt and his wife, and, like, they took, like, that was days to find him. Like, they had to pull all this shit together, and they shackled him from soup to nuts. Like they thought he was like an active serial killer, and they've been chasing him literally all night. And he's sitting here in his fucking like Panama Jack shorts outfit, no iron on him whatsoever.
No.
Fuck.
I was like, I give up.
Yeah, he does still look plastered.
But that's where you called when I was out the door to go.
Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know at the time.
I was out the door to trade in my old cell phone because the contract just turned, it just expired the other day. So I had to go down to the AT&T store, get a new iPhone, get that activated, go through that rigmarole. Then after all my contacts in games and everything was fully, vetted and working, the first thing I was going to do, call 911.
Right.
I swear. 6-7 more days tops, and I would have been right at your guys' door being like, hey, so last week things got a little crazy.
They had actually they were actually responding before I even got on the phone to them. So when you and I were talking, unbeknownst to me, they were already alerted to your presence there. So.
Or maybe my neighbor. Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe my neighbor.
I told me.
Right. That's why I said I was being honest with you when I said I'll give you.
I hope to God if I'm ever, whether it be a crime of passion or I snap and I premeditate something, I hope to God it's not on like the one day a week I'm wearing shorts. I don't want to be interviewed by other adults in a pair of fucking khaki shorts. Like, look at this dude.
I'll give you 5 minutes to, kind of, like you said I'll be out the door in 5 minutes. I said, okay.
5 minutes.
The gun, is it your gun?
Yes, it's a gun I've had since like 1990.
Okay, what kind is it?
It's a Taurus.
22 years.
1992.
Oh, man. So the Taurus P92 is basically a ripoff of the Beretta 92, which not for nothing, we get into like design scheme or whatever, despite their purpose, the Beretta 92, beautiful gun. It's so classic. It's been in video games and movies, and it's been, you've seen it. If I show you a picture of the Beretta 92, maybe it's called the P92. I don't think it is though. Great gun. I mean, it looks great. I had one for a little while just to, to get scratch that itch. It's unwieldy, like it's fat as fuck, and like the tube is constantly exposed. And you're constantly pulling your skin into the breech because whatever, like a Glock, the barrel, like with your ghost gun, a Nancy Brophy ghost gun, the barrel is going to be completely encased in the slide. Whereas with a Beretta 92, like it's most of the barrel's exposed. Okay, yeah, it's just 92. Thanks, Rod. But you know what I'm talking about. The barrel is mostly exposed. There's a lot of chance to get skin caught in that shit.
Ouch.
92F. Oh, yeah, I had the PX4 Storm. Such a fun gun. Like, it reminded me of a Halo gun. It just looked like a futuristic, like I could shoot. But I knew that, like, that was probably the tipping point for me when I was, like, buying guns that I thought they looked like toys. I go, that's probably time to like take it easy. Like, Jesus. Because I knew the end of that rainbow was an F&P 90. I don't have like $3,000 to drop on something because they played with it on SG1.
You know what caliber?
9mm.
9mm. Do you normally keep it in your glove box?
I own one as
Always
well.
in
I
your
have
glove box.
been
And you said you
on a
kept it
quest to
holstered
buy all the cool
yeah.
guns from action movies in my childhood.
Yeah, I had it. And that's the thing. I was doing that same thing because you get the wild hair up your ass. My buddy wanted a Walther
PPK.
and got it. I went through the whole thing. I got the Uzi. I loved my favorite was the Ruger Vaquero. It was a single action 357 or 38 special or whatever, 38 long Colt revolver. Super fun. Not practical in the slightest. Stupid heavy, but cool. Yeah, PPK is like super popular. You have the 380 version? Probably because it's like the most popular. I think they made it in a 9 too. But like, yeah, the PPK is one of those ones where you go like, it's not to bring up Have Gun Will Travel again, but like his main holstered, well-balanced and crafted, yada, yada, handcrafted gun. It's always there, but there's always that little derringer for when they take it. And the PPK is one of those ones that like, it feels like that's everybody's go-to boot gun or whatever. If you want to have like a slim profile, you just want to feel a little bit like a secret agent.
Did I have a gun or did I use somebody's to do practice?
You had one for a while.
I don't remember what it was.
You had a rip-off PPK.
Oh, okay.
Because it was cheap,
little.
and
Yeah.
we weren't going to be like, oh, let's throw all the money,
no.
whatever, because we hardly ever used it. Yeah. Right. There a lot of the things, like, because that's the thing, when you want to own guns, it's not a practical purchase. It's not like equity. You're going to blast a bunch of bullets through it and lower the value of it as you do it, but it's the fun of it. Like, no hobby you get into for the return, right?
Right.
So, like, I'm not going to, like, bash that.
Man, but I'm a little heavy. I used
I'm a
to
little.
carry it, but I'm too heavy.
Fat.
So now you just keep it
I
in the
just
glove
keep
box.
it in the glove box.
I mean, and most old dudes, when they get like the huge belly and their ass disappears, like for whatever reason, when most dudes hit 50, their ass dissolves into their body and regurgitates itself in the gut. But I've seen a cut, especially here in Arizona, where it's like you can open carry no problem or conceal carry no problem, no license for either required. All the old dudes with no ass replace one of their ass cheeks with like, whatever, a Ruger or a Glock or a Springfield. And they just wear it on the outside because they know that their concave ass can now allow it. And it's like, who gives a shit?
Right.
But I don't know, man. That's another, when I look at dudes like that, I go, that's a guy waiting to tell a hero story about how he shot an innocent child. Because you look at this dude, I saw one at Winco the other day. In his conservatively mid-70s, like really puffy trucker hat, really long white scraggly mustache, huge belly, the no ass again with the Glock or whatever hanging off the back, and then like fuzzy slippers on his feet. And in his head, he's just waiting for the Winco lights to turn off and like the emergency lights to pop on, like a siren or a light to start flashing. And he's like, now's the time. Because in his mind, he remembers himself as a live 20-year-old and not a bloated whale carcass that he like stuck a gun to and has, boners about killing thieves over. You know what I mean?
Okay. Where is that gun now?
It's in my glove box.
It's still in the glove box.
I just put it right back
your
in there
car-
while I was
your
still
car, that's
smoking.
your-
Because 9 times out of 10, when they say, where's that gun now? It's either in a lake, in a creek,
I don't
in a river,
remember.
or in pieces all over the city.
your residence currently.
Even I just watched one where like it was claimed to be an accident. It's like, it was an accident, it just went off. And I was like, well, where's the gun now? Well, it's in 9 different pieces over all New York and probably like headed to Coney Island on a garbage
It's
scow.
on Fire Island somewhere.
Oh, it was an accident, you say? That would be like if you get into a car accident and you jump out of your own car and start dismantling it so you can start hiding it all over the place. That seems like
Like Snot's
an
mom.
accident. Not really like Snot's mom. She did that to protect Snot. I'm saying like you would intentionally
To
try to
hide
use
evidence.
a car as a weapon, and then like in the aftermath, like when the airbags deploy and all the people are screaming and wailing in pain, you're there with a socket going like looking around really fast, hoping you can hide this Kia Sorento before the cops show up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many, do you normally keep it fully loaded? Okay, you keep it fully loaded but not chambered. You had to chamber it.
I don't.
You just said there was one in
Yeah.
the pipe. Don't fucking lie.
He totally
Okay,
did.
friends thinks I'm an idiot, but I just don't.
Okay.
So
that's what I'm saying.
you pull a
know
Chandler
you normally
Alderson
don't
on
keep
your
it chambered. You
Springfield
knew to have-
1911.
You had to rack
Yeah, a Chandler Alderson.
one to put one in the chamber.
Yes, it's a practice
Right.
maneuver. as
Right.
well.
No, I know.
Right.
I'm aware. I know.
Yeah, I'm a cop.
I
I
know
shoot
guns.
for a living. So yeah, but believe it or not, cops are pretty much into guns.
Here's the thing.
I know you're in a strange
hit a
town,
wall.
and you have this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, kind of guy. Like, he's got. Michael Dunn is everything that
His pew pew.
isn't. He's like the worst type of person. Like, I would rather someone be an upfront asshole, because those people are easy to write off and also talk shit about behind their back, because we are all in agreement about those people. Michael Dunn is the kind of shithead who is like a subversive shithead, so you have to test the waters with everybody who knows this asshole to see if they are drinking his Kool-Aid or not.
Right.
And it makes everybody around him and in his circle uncomfortable. I guarantee it. I cut people out of my life like this, like I do the obviously toxic ones. I'm not going to tiptoe around your ass, just like I'm not going to have to let you get checks cashed from other people because, he's a great guy, but don't give me that but.
Bought.
Traumatic event happened to you, and I can understand that. Okay.
Loud music and
The
all.
problem, I can tell you, where we start to kind of get a little wondering is
Why you
by
killed
the
him?
time you say you get to your hotel room, you're calling to order pizza. Why aren't you calling us?
I wanted to come back to
I
my
picked up my phone and I was doing 9-1, and then I thought, man, Papa John's has a really good click.
Michael is the kind of guy who thinks he's dating the 20-year-old that fleeces him at the strip club.
Kind of, yeah, but that's the thing about Michael here. He's one of these dudes who, I don't know, if you go to fit him in this spectrum or this hierarchy, right? Here's a good scenario for you. So you have a legitimate military person, right? Let's say that's the top of this pyramid. Then you've got policemen and other law enforcement. Then you've got the guys who can't make that, who do security guards.
Yeah.
And then you have the guys who don't even have the balls to do that. So Michael here is he's a programmer, let's say.
Program engineer and a private pilot.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a fucking nerd. He's one of these dentists.
He's a rich nerd. Yeah.
He's one of these dentists who buys a blown out Harley for $30,000, drops it for $12,000 because he realizes that it hurts his soft butt.
Right.
And that's what this motherfucker is. But I don't know. These are the worst type of people, because they're the type of people out there who, not to bring up lol cows again, but they so misunderstand reality and the concepts because they accept it as common knowledge that they think that as long as they feel okay in doing it, it'll all be okay. As long as you say, I felt threatened. If you say that you've never felt more fear in your life, another human being will look at you and go, yeah, it's cool. Cool. Right? How do you not? He's the type of person who wouldn't, not the type of person who would come to you in your face and tell you to fuck off, but then calm down and get over it. He's that person who would toxically slip in and use political power of any sort, like an HOA member.
Right.
Right?
to my
motherfucker.
hometown to do
Michael
that.
was the team
And our
manager of
dogs
his
and
high school
everybody.
baseball team.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He was that. He's maybe even the head of his own HOA association.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
At least on the board.
If he's in a private pilots club, he's on that. He maybe is the treasurer. He is the type of person who needs to feel
Power.
something because he's nothing.
Yeah.
He's a pasty blob of shit.
where they needed to be. I didn't want to bring a shitstorm down on them in Jacksonville.
Okay. Well, I mean, it wouldn't.
Which is where I
they
committed
haven't-
my
I mean,
crime.
They're not anything to be worried about. She hasn't.
True.
You know, it's not like, you know, she's there.
Yeah.
There's nothing she did
I
wrong.
was, you know, I shouldn't even left the scene. But I
Correct.
left the scene because I
Just real quick too, like I can't even imagine like, the mental gymnastics I would need to do after, you know, even if someone were coming at me with intent to kill and I killed them, it would probably wreck me emotionally and give me PTSD. I stepped on a toad on my way to work in the dark once and it ruined my week.
Yeah.
I can't, like, if someone made me shoot them and I had no other option or they would kill me, like, I would be bawling my eyes out. I wouldn't be just like, well, you know, the loud music. And I was like, bam, 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 as they were driving away. And then I had a pizza.
Yeah. No, this has been Florida the whole time. Boo.
Yeah, of course it's Florida.
Rod says, unfortunately, as a firearm enthusiast, I've come to realize that fuckheads like this come a dime a dozen.
Right.
Hey, didn't you see the no soliciting sign, asshole? Go ahead, make my day.
Right. And not to bring up Have Gun Will Travel again, but Paladin sees a fucking country mile of these assholes in every episode.
Yeah.
Like, every asswipe who just buys a gun automatically thinks that they're like a gunfighter or whatever. Because that's the thing. You get big nuts because you have a heavy piece of metal that's capable of killing someone with, like, it's not like a knife where you have to like look them in the eyes, you're sliding it in between their ribs. It's not like a club where you have to watch them every time you hit them in the head and it takes a long, you're not choking them for 4 minutes. You can just go pow and it's over. So yeah, that gives you a sense of, you know, Michael Dunn and, you know, just a little bit of rum and coke, and here we are.
I could never shoot somebody. I had a hard enough time shooting a damn target at the shooting range because I still like felt weird doing it. Next state meeting, I'm going to tell the rest of Florida to calm down. Let another state be the national joke for a bit. We've had a great run.
Right, and you guys
It'd be Arizona.
It's insane. You guys just need to talk Arkansas into getting as lax, like, as lax a stance toward like crime reporting as Florida does. Because Florida's like, hey, whatever. It doesn't even matter if you ask for it or not. It all just sort of gets dumped into the public domain.
That's true. Well, in Wisconsin, I mean, I know they're not near each other, but like Wisconsin is like Florida North.
That's the thing. There's nutsacks and meth heads and weirdos all over the place. It's just depending on what municipality you live in that makes it easy for people to get it. But since we have states like Florida where it's like whatever, they just roll it out in a big hog trough so all these true crime pigs can slop to their heart's content. Yeah, Florida's going to be the laughing stock. Plus, it looks like the droopy dick of America.
That's true.
I'm still afraid for.
Okay, and I can live with that. Okay.
I can live
with that. You don't necessarily want to hang around right where the shooting happened because you don't know if these guys are coming back. I'm good with
Or
that.
if they're more.
That's fine.
Yeah, or if they're a fleet, an armada
Yeah.
of red SUVs circling the Sheridan. Holy shit. Like, oh my.
You know, but once you leave and you are away from that scene, and you've even gotten to a hotel room and inside your hotel room at that point,
But my tummy was grumbly.
you know, now
And then you have like 6 or 7 slices of pizza in that thing. What's up with that?
now makes me wonder, you know, because if you make a phone call, one, we find out,
2012.
you know, a lot quicker what's going on. Okay. The reason he and I haven't been to sleep since sometime yesterday is because we're trying to figure out, all we know is we got a dead kid in a
Hello?
car.
We got a
And we got
guy.
a guy shot.
He knows the kid is dead. Like, I can't imagine.
No.
Like, let's say this scenario happens where, like, Michael Dunn's scenario is, like, his hero fantasy is true. Where put yourself in this scenario. You, as a consumer, drive into a gas station. Let's say you're also stone sober. And you're not dropping your fiance off to buy more wine. Let's say you need a donut Whatever. It's a totally wholesome situation. Shit, I forgot where I was going with all this because of all the details.
You were being Michael Dunn situation where you knew the kid's dead after you shot them.
Oh, right. Like, I can't even imagine, like, it would be, let's say you deal with the shock of somebody rolling into a parking lot, turning on some music, and then pointing a shotgun at you, and you having the wherewithal to identify the situation correctly and fire back, saving your life, and it was all above board.
Mm-hmm. No.
Like, people get PTSD for less.
Yes.
So even if you come out a hero, and that's the thing that not no one ever, but it seldom comes up because we don't, because the criminals, we just don't think that it happens, but there has to be an emotional toll of some kind.
I would hope, I would assume, yeah.
But that's the thing, we can sit here and look at Michael and see him later on the stand crying about how his dog Charlie needed to take a piss and shed no tears for the 17-year-old child he gunned down in cold blood for no fucking reason.
Yep.
Charlie, fuck you, Michael.
Shot and hauled ass. That's all we know. You see what I'm saying?
I do, and just me to call you guys last
Big old
night,
mulligan
and I
from
was,
Michael Dunn here.
insistent on waiting until we got around people we knew.
Okay. I mean,
We wanted to surround ourselves with a cushion of other white people that could sort of cushion the blow. Because again, not for nothing, guys, but did you see the kid? He was black. He has to say that really quietly so the black detective doesn't hear it, but he goes, they were black, hoping the white guy hears it, but the black guy doesn't. This piece of shit.
I'm just, that's where we start to get a little concerned. It starts to be, and I'll, we can speak that I personally have had a case with an individual who was moving to Jacksonville, first day in Jacksonville, and got involved in an incident and felt threatened and shot another person and was in their car. And he drove across the street to another parking lot and got on the phone with 911 immediately and started walking police into where he was.
And he's a free man today.
Right, because there are those ones where you go, because there are some interrogations out there where they go, well, the neighbors heard gunshots at 9 a.m. and records show 911 was called from your phone at 11:52. What happened there? I was scared. Like, how do you fill a 3-hour window, let alone 72 hours? Because it's not like, because that's the thing. In that 3-hour window where the murderer or the suspect in the interrogation room allegedly committed the crime versus like the 3 hours to when they called, it would probably be funnier if they called Papa John's in between. But the fact that the police were never called and it was like Papa John's, and then we talked to the neighbor, and then we wrote our governor.
Right, they drove home.
I'm playing. Yeah, I think it doesn't just feel like in any other situation he would just like if this black detective were not in here and it were just two either white dudes or even like Latino dudes, like maybe there's like the Cuban technology / philosophy detective, like he could be like, like come on, because not for nothing. Again, I'll bring up my time in the trades again. As an ignorant fool, I thought, because this made sense in my head, I thought, well, there's a bunch of racism. White dudes love to hate on literally everybody. All the white dudes that I worked with in the trades hated any skin color darker than they were, if they were Mexican or Native American or black or whatever they were. But they were always the good ones, right? And I thought, well, at least, I thought to myself, this has to be true. White people hate everybody, so that everybody on like that side of the fence, a shade darker that the white people don't accept, must more or less have an understanding and be on the same team. I don't know if, here's the thing, this is, again, a personal anecdote, so I can't say that's like across the board, but everybody I talked to literally hated everybody. All my black coworkers and friends hated the natives, they hated the Mexicans, and they hated the whites. The natives hated the Mexicans and the blacks and the whites. The Mexicans hated the natives, they hated the blacks, they hated the whites, and all the white people hated everybody. And I was just like in the middle of it all going like, but why?
Why can't we all get along?
And if for no other reason, a numbers game, right? With a white-dominated landscape on this job site, everyone a shade darker than that should at least band together for the greater good. They go, no! I hate them all, they would all tell me. I go, God damn, man. I loved all those motherfuckers, whether they were telling me stories about playing handball in prison or, like, passing out in the boat shop their girlfriend's buddy owned. You know?
Dude, everyone hates everyone, but they generally come together to get the job done.
Right, that's the thing.
For money.
They, I was like, why are you guys doing this? They all had racial prejudices against everybody on the job site, but thankfully, and also coincidentally, most of the people they worked with alongside, whether we at the same company or not, were one of the good ones. Which, like, hello, blow that fucking concept out. If you can be a white racist and have literally everybody a shade darker than you be one of the good ones on the job site, save for one or two that are obviously going to be assholes, can't you just be like, hey, maybe it's all like that? Nope. No. The good ones on the job sites, everyone you've never met is an asshole.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say other than
There are other problems that we have too.
I have nothing to say.
Well, here's
When
the thing.
you begin
They
to
give him
shoot,
Chinese food like Joshua Cologne. He keeps
can
talking.
you honestly tell us that you ever saw a gun inside that vehicle?
I
Here we
saw
go.
a barrel come up on the window,
He kind of reminds me of Carl Weathers, this detective.
like a single shot shotgun where there's a barrel. I didn't see this part of the barrel. I saw that part of the barrel.
What does that
Is
mean?
it a barrel or a stick?
I'm a gun guy, so I didn't see this part. I saw this part.
And then
Yeah,
it was
no,
either
no,
a barrel or a stick.
You guys are gun guys. You know, this part I didn't see. This part was confirmed. Guys.
They're like green.
Yeah, 2012, the file's going to get a little corrupted, guys. I can't help that.
I
I
didn't
felt
wait
scared.
to look to see if they were going to point it at me. He reached down and picked it up. And
You
then,
say he, who reached down and picked it up?
well, hopefully,
This is the energy I would be putting off. Like,
Yeah.
if you've ever, you haven't, but if you ever experience me in a meeting or any situation where it is pointless and continue beyond all the necessary information, like meeting at work, for example, that should have been 10 minutes, that takes 58. This is me, minute 11. Get me? And he has been extremely patient for 16 minutes and 40 seconds with this fucking idiot. So obviously he must be under some sort of training regiment. I would be like shaking this asshole by his lapels, being like, get some pants.
hopefully it's the guy that I hit. Though it
Where was
was,
he sitting when he reached
he
down?
was sitting
Hopefully it was the guy I hit that had the mock shotgun
Or the stick.
or the stick.
in the rear passenger side,
Okay.
Hopefully.
and that's the guy that was
If I ever kill
really
someone, I go, hopefully they were needed it.
I hope so.
and then that's the guy that I asked, are
You're talking to me?
you talking about you're gonna kill me? Like I said, I didn't know what,
You know those hardened criminals. They talk about killing you. They let you roll your window down. They let you ask them if you're going to kill you.
Reach over
They
your
think
glove
about it a
box.
little while longer, and that's when their plan, switches into any sort of gear.
My window is up. He was saying a lot, but that's what came through. And I put my window down to ask him.
And the music is still playing at this time? And
Yes, but he is really loud and really animated.
Threatening.
louder than the music that's bothering you?
Yes, well, the music was a nuisance at first. With my car shut and the windows up, and you just hear the heavy bass. And like I said, I just said, hey, would you mind turning it down?
We're in a
And they
public
did. They shut
parking
it
lot.
off, which, I said, thanks.
I told them I appreciated them, bowing to my will as someone who had no right nor reason to hassle them.
But it really wasn't an issue of loud music. It was an issue of them threatening my life.
But it started from me.
Absolutely. And
So this is like another title, lol cows. Because lol cows seem to think, or idiots, I'll just say idiots. Idiots seem to think that like empty threats are like justifiable. Like here's the thing, I would probably get murdered even if I had a gun and a knife. Like if my right hand was filled with a Beretta 92F, my left hand I had a karambit, right? And I could disembowel and shoot all the people in the world. Unlimited ammo. And someone comes at me with the intent to kill. They would probably kill me. I don't know if I could bring myself to kill another human being, even under threat of death.
Yeah.
And Mike here is like, well, I hope that the person I did kill was the one who had the broom.
and, that's when I started
And the
telling you
music
guys
was
I'm
playing when
scared.
you pulled up.
No, it was not.
It was not.
No, it wasn't. And got in the car, and she'd been gone for a little bit. She wasn't in the store very long.
All right, shouldn't I say it's not in there very long.
Right. How long would it take to like get upset about
Like
music and
that.
shoot
Right.
someone?
There's some issues that we have.
A lot of issues.
I'll be the first to tell you there's no weapons in the car. I don't know what you saw.
No shit.
Fuck.
That's impossible. When they drove off, they dumped it.
They never left the parking lot.
Yeah, they drove out, circled right back around, and came right back to that spot.
Oh, okay, because
Oh!
Oh, well, that's even better. I guess.
Like, here's the thing. At least Michael Draco was like, when the detective came in at the end of it all, and he goes, "Hey, I'd like to inform you, the guy you shot did pass away." At least he took a moment of, even though it was less than a second, he took a moment of silence to go, "Thank you for telling me that." He didn't go, "Oh, okay." Like, hey, like someone screwed up your lunch order, and you learn about it ahead of time. But then when your lunch order gets there, it's fine. That's the reaction. You go, "Oh, okay.
it's actually good.
Hey, the dude you shot had no weapon and died on the scene because he died so quickly because you shot him and he never had a weapon. So it was in cold blood." Oh,
They surrounded until they
Golly.
saw you leave, and then they drove right back. Because they saw you leave at that
They saw
point.
you leave and they realized their friend had been hit. So they never left the parking
And
lot.
they came right back at that point.
okay. Well,
I'm still going to bank on the fact that you guys will just accept the fact that I was scared as a privileged white idiot who was drunk and owned a gun. I felt threatened and I had a gun. So please, there's some sort of stamp card. And if I do it 10 times, I get $14 at a Best Buy gift card. Thank you. It's Florida.
I don't know what to tell you.
Here's what has to happen. I know that from your position right now that you're going to do everything to protect yourself. And I can't say that I blame you for that. But we're going to need the total truth as to what happened, not this.
I mean, just imagine getting this real with a detective this sincere, and you're wearing these shorts. Oh, it's so embarrassing.
Story that I've had from 7:30 last night till 12 o'clock today to fix up. Okay, because the only thing that's going to make sense to us is the truth matching the scene. And
It doesn't.
there was the biggest problem we got, the first hurdle we got to get over is that there is no weapon in that truck.
Did he have a stick? Because he stuck something up.
Like, what? That's your Hail Mary. That's your Hail Mary. You go, well, there was no gun. Was there a stick? I can't, like, what is analogous to this, right? Like, when something went so wrong that you misinterpreted so bad that your next best guess is something so far removed from the contextual issue, it makes you look like a child.
I'll double check it. I don't recall seeing anything like that, really. But I'll double check it.
Why would they keep a stick in the car?
Obviously our main things is when we're going through, we're looking for any kind of weapons, any kind of evidence of a weapon, shell casing,
The
bullets.
second problem we have is that the last set of rounds, when the truck is backing away from you, and you put 4 more sets in it, 4 more shots into it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a
That's
problem.
an issue. Because now, if it's backing away, it's no longer a threat.
Oh.
Yes, sir. I understand that. In my mind, they had a weapon.
Okay. I can't shoot someone because in my mind they had a weapon.
Right. That's the law.
That's the problem.
That is
I
the
mean,
problem.
If I walk up to someone right now and I'm having a conversation with them and I think they have a weapon, the law doesn't allow me to shoot him because I think he has a weapon.
It's pretty crazy. I'm going to bring up Have a Gun Will Travel again, but there are so many episodes where, like, you know, bounty hunters will kill someone, and basically there's an inquest. And they go, well, since there's no witnesses, 2 men are out in the desert. One of them is dead. He got killed by, you know, during the apprehension and yada, yada, yada. So his case dismissed, blah, blah, blah. But, like, we're no longer in those days. Like, it wasn't like Michael Dunn was moseying through a stretch of desert and a guy popped out from behind a creosote bush and was like, give me your money. And he shot him in the face. And they go, well, he pulled a gun. And there's no other witness. Because then, you know, by the letter of the law, you have to go like, well, there's no evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 2012. And not only that, it's not the middle of the desert. It's the middle of a gas station parking lot, and a popular one.
I think you would have a hard time arguing with your statute versus any one of them that they could get out and beat you up.
Hmm?
Well, there's 4 of them.
Even the 4 of them.
That's 4.
I think you would have a hard time arguing that the 4 of them could have done anything to you.
Yes, sir.
No defense for that?
Nope. Yes, sir.
Yep.
That's it.
You got me. All right, moving along.
Let me ask you this: how were you when you pulled your gun out? Say you're sitting in your driver's seat
drunk?
like that, straight ahead. How did you shoot? Did you shoot one-handed? Did you shoot two-handed?
Two-handed, like
Two-handed, like this. You come across your body. Okay, and you shoot the first. What you said? 4 shots is what you remember. And then they start backing out. Do you continue to shoot through the window, or do you reposition yourself?
I don't recall, but I do remember getting out of my car and taking, like, getting sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, like, waiting for the wink or...
But once again,
Just waiting for someone to wink at him.
Yeah.
Apparently. I don't know why. I've heard that so many times. What the wink? Waiting for the wink? What? Like you're pulling up a single barrel shotgun in your mind that might be a stick and it's going to wink at you?
all this is...
Okay.
once again, if you think they have something, think they have a
Hey, listen, man. Believe you me, as a person of color, I understand fully the fragile ego of the white pasty man,
Yeah.
right? Because they wear it on their sleeve. You're one of them. So, but here we are, right? What are you going to do about it?
They had a shotgun.
You think they have a shotgun. Are you going to get out of your car so they can get a good aim on you?
Hell yeah.
Make any sense?
Well, at the time, I was doing everything on adrenaline and no...
But I'm just saying, we're trained to, if we think something...
Even if you're not trained in any capacity, you're going to run away from a gun. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be, no certification needed. You see a shotgun, the first thing you're going to do, get out of there.
Yep.
You're not going to run toward it and, like,
It's
I
not a
can't
fight
imagine.
moment. It's a flight
something
moment.
is there to get out of the way.
To get out of the way.
cover or conceal.
I mean, he's right, yeah. Or if you're going to get, like, big nuts and be like, no, I'll take him on, then you, like, duck and cover, assess the situation. He shot through his window and then got out, never taking cover whatsoever. Like, in a gunfight, you're hiding behind wagon wheels or barrels of water and shit, and you're dodging bullets. You're not, like, walking through the middle of town firing at unarmed civilians.
Yeah.
Concealment. So you're telling me that you thought they had a shotgun, but you got out of your car. Mm-hmm. So they would...
And I walked after him and shot him 4 more times because I was scared. officer.
Get a good aim at you is what you're telling me.
Well, I thought maybe they would shoot at the car and I wouldn't be in it.
But the car, your car's not shooting at them. You are.
Like, but that's the yeah, exactly right, detective. Like, are you fighting the pop culturally misinterpreted Tyrannosaurus Rex from Jurassic Park? Mm-hmm. You're hoping that the people you are facing will have such a devolved limbic and, neurosystem that they'll focus on the bigger object being the car as the threat.
Yes.
I mean, were they hedgehogs behind the wheel, dude? Fuck.
Why are we shooting?
Fire at the car. Yeah, that's the thing. If someone got out of their car with a weapon, I would definitely still be worried about the car. Because let's be real, right? A gun, once all the bullets are gone, how many people can it kill? A car can run over dozens, if not hundreds. Focus on the car.
That's your car.
Yeah, they can't. Honestly, sir, I'm
Sir.
at a loss to justify what I did on the second volley,
Right.
other than to say
And the first volley.
I thought they were going to be shooting back, and I was keeping.
I thought eventually they'd start shooting. By the time I had emptied my clip, I was like, come on, guys. Where are the bullets that you're going to shoot at me? I was like, hey, what
At least shoot one at me.
kind of gunfight is this, right, detective? Why aren't they shooting back? Where's their stick? Did they have a stick? Were they gardeners?
Keeping them from doing that. And I was in such a panic. Fear.
This is the beauty about true crime is we get to sit on this side of catastrophe. Like a split second ended the life of a man and irrevocably changed the life of his three friends and their family. Mm-hmm. But since, we can't live in a Minority Report situation, we just have to wait for the destruction to ripple out through the families as we slowly work our way year after year through the justice system. And Michael Dunn in 2012 commits a crime, can get to prison by 2017.
Yeah.
While trying to justify why he killed the kid and why he shouldn't go to jail for killing the kid. Meanwhile, the kid has been dead and will be dead for the rest of eternity. But what other system do we have, right? I know I keep pointing to this problem. We go, well, what do you do? But if you were at the point of this, you'd want the time to be like, it's not me.
Right.
But being on the outside, knowing it's definitely him, you want to go, can't we speed it up?
Just a
Fear
little.
for my life.
Well, we know.
For the love of my life.
And
I did.
have fear for the love of your life. What had they done?
Well, had they been
Oh, didn't I say that one of the guys said that, fuck you, bitch, I'm going to kill you. And then he said, I'm going to kill your wife. And then there's a long redacted cut part from her name.
out of their truck, doing whatever to me when she came out, they would have. I just assumed.
So once again, we're acting off assumptions.
Because they weren't out of their truck.
They were not out of the truck.
The guy was coming out of his truck.
Yeah, the driver had gone in the store.
No, the guy that I was talking to, the one that I shot, he was coming out of his
The
truck.
one that I shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one he said, "You're dead, bitch," and opened the door.
Okay, and is that point where you shot?
That's the point where I went and grabbed my gun.
Okay.
'Cause I-
So here's the thing, guys. Not for nothing, but the movies have really made people stupid. Because in a movie or a TV show, Have Gun Will Travel, for instance, you need dramatic tension for the viewer. So you don't want to have your hero, you don't want to see Paladin get shot 17 times in the kidneys from behind with no warning. Mm-hmm. And his murderer rides off into the sunset, never to be seen or heard from again. All the people who are shitheads need to go, all right, I'm here in the same room with you, and I've got a gun. Turn around slowly. Put your hands up. Pull your gun out. Throw it on the floor. Now here's 19 paragraphs of why I'm going to kill you and why I hate you.
But tomorrow.
And it doesn't happen that way.
Right.
If murderous intent from inside a red SUV is there, they're not going to go, oh yeah, bitch, they're not going to have 19 lead ups.
Right.
And then when they say, yes, I'm definitely going to kill you, allow you the time to reach into your glove box, unholster your Beretta, chamber around because you don't keep one in the pipe, and then shoot them 4 times.
Yep.
How many prison shankings do you think start with, like, the dude sitting at the chow table and like another dude with like the thick handlebar mustache, like Lemmy from Motorhead, like sneak up to his ear and be like, "Hey, guess what? Say goodbye to your kidneys." And then there's like 3 seconds of nothing happening, and then you feel a bunch of sharpened toothbrush handles in you. Like, what the fuck?
Because everything's fine. They're just talking, and then all of a sudden...
So you get the gun, rack it, and then reassess?
No, I didn't reassess. I
So you
started
I was totally assessed from the first, like
Yeah.
when I pulled in.
That was it.
The parking lot was empty, save for one vehicle with loud music. I assessed the situation already, officer. Wink. It was dark out that night. If you know what I mean, not that detective, but you. Well, I assume the other one's white. I can't see him, obviously.
You went, grabbed gun, rack, came up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see him start to come out of the
Right.
door of the truck. At that point, you turn,
I'm just going to close my
you
notebook.
get your gun.
Fuck it.
This is how I look like when I have to be professional.
Yeah.
When I can't talk or like... part of the reason I grew the beard is because I hoped it would hide some of my facial expressions.
No.
Because apparently my face is easy to read when things flash across my mind. So I feel for this detective right now. He's probably thinking in his head like, no one can tell I'm frustrated. Because every time I am, I think that.
Well, and here's the
That's
thing with your beard. Like, you touch your beard a lot more when you're thinking about something in particular, or
Come back up
it,
on target.
it's like a hindrance, not a
It's
help.
It's a crutch. There's no two ways about it.
Yes, sir. Fluid motion.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. One fluid motion. He said, I'm going to kill you, bitch. And I reached in one fluid motion. Like, he is... Pick a Tom Cruise character. I don't give a fuck. He feels like he's in Vanilla Sky. I don't know.
In the amount of time, he's starting to get out of the truck when you first start to go get your...
Allegedly.
But yet, by the time you come back and start shooting, he's still in the truck.
Huh.
He's coming out. I think he saw what I was doing
he's
and was
coming out.
running back in. I don't...
Yeah, if I had a gun that I was like, I definitely had the drop on someone and I could blast them and I had the intent to murder, I wouldn't see them fumbling in their glove box or something and go like, oh no, he shaded me.
Yeah.
Hello?
No. But
See, that's where I'm a little thrown off here.
Hello.
Okay. Because he is sitting in the back seat of that truck when he is hit. Okay? Because the bullet goes right through the door. 3 bullets went through that door. Okay?
Deep cuts, Vanilla
He wasn't
Sky
hit standing
reference.
outside the truck.
You're welcome, Rod.
No, I know.
It's the only vehicle in my mind that carries both Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz.
I shot through the door,
Okay, so
driving him back.
how's he getting out of the door if you're shooting through it? You're confusing us.
All right.
Wow. That's
That
probably
was-
the best line of the interview.
That was a read technique phrased question delivered with the enthusiasm and frustration that I would have.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even say me. He says us.
Yeah.
He's just like, God, you're confusing us. Like, he doesn't even believe that they're both confused.
No.
He's just like, this is bullshit, but he can't say it. Again, it's like being at a company meeting where you want to be like, you're a fucking idiot, but you have to go like, I think that won't work.
Right. When the latch is
Cut
coming
the
off
shit,
the door,
Michael.
Seriously.
that's when I went to do what I was doing with the gun. And when I came back, I'm firing.
When the
Good.
latch is coming off the door?
No, when I got my gun out of the...
When you said earlier about when you see the latch, what do you mean by the latch coming?
Well, the
through door?
door's opening, and he's stepping out.
Okay, so and he's stepping out,
Yes, and then
and you go and reach, but by the time you
To my memory, that didn't happen. Again, there's camera footage. Again, Here's the thing. These type of people are also dangerous for this reason, because the human memory is terrible. Like, this thing, back before we had science to tell us that memory is basically shit, you can say, well, I remember this or that. It doesn't matter, because like, you want to believe that your memory is infallible because you saw it, you experienced it, and this is how you remember it. But there's a million factors that can change the way you see it.
Right.
And that's, thank God for 4K cameras everywhere. Even though it feels a little Big Brother-y, we don't have someone going like, well, they were really mad and I blah, blah, blah. Because without cameras or without all the people getting gas or whatever, it would be just as easy to, like, for him to be like, I saw something.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God it's not the Old West. They'd be like, well, again, even with no witnesses and no cameras, there was no gun.
Yeah.
So.
And how you come back and come up just blazing, somehow he's
No stick either.
still sitting in the truck.
Well, maybe I'm not as fast with the whole thing as I think I am, but
Which would even
Make it even longer for him to get out of the
make
truck.
it even less credible for them to be like, I'm going to kill you, bitch, and pull up a shotgun, and they see you like.
He's like matrixing in slow motion.
It would be as if you were like in the Olympics, right? Like, and you're ready for the 100-meter dash, and you look over, and the person you're racing immediately next to you is not ready to go, but simply tying their shoe.
Yeah.
And instead of, like, when the fire of the pistol goes off and the race starts, you go, are my shoes okay?
Should I tie mine
No,
again?
you wouldn't do that. That's worlds apart.
it was,
Or maybe he wasn't getting out of the truck.
no, absolutely
Maybe.
he was.
Here's the
Absolutely.
other problem we have. The guy in the front seat, the front
Look at all of
passenger
his
seat,
notes.
he sees you.
He has a perfect view of the whole thing.
Right.
Perfect.
His window's up.
He sees you getting the gun. So why would he let his friend get out of the truck when he sees you getting the gun?
That's a good question.
Pardon?
Why would he allow the
Pardon?
victim to be getting out of the truck when he
Excuse
already...
I have
me?
no idea. I mean, I think the guy in the front was the
Okay.
reason.
You also know that it was 7:30, 7:45 p.m. and the Gates gas station has several customers in the parking lot and everywhere.
That's an early end to a
And
wedding.
we've interviewed several people. This is the very first time that anyone has told us about anyone getting out of a truck.
Isn't that weird, Michael? We interviewed a lot of people because typically at this point, because you've been running from us, we
Right.
talked to everybody but you. And they, in addition to the camera footage, don't back up your story. I mean, this isn't as, oh crap. There's a piece of footage out there where like this Texas Ranger, like this guy had his wife killed, and they said in this Texas Ranger who got big nuts and he wore a big 10-gallon hat. And he's like, he gave off that vibe of like, here I am. He kind of gives up that same thing, but like more earnest. Because when you come in with like, here, I'm the best of the best, and you don't, like, he's like Chuck Norris in spirit, but without the beard. You need some sort of humility, because at some point, all of that gusto can build a wall of resentment in the suspect and can tear it down. But if you're just like, come on, man, like, what the fuck? Like, this guy with, he's rubbing his face, and he's like, obviously he's sending all the nonverbal cues of like, no, this is not right. That's what's wearing Michael down slowly. Not the whole like, well, I'm the best of the best, and by God, son, you better get yourself a 10-gallon hat and blah, blah, blah.
And here's where I would have a question too is, you're saying you feel like you have a threat that this guy's got a shotgun in your view. Okay, so you think he's getting out of the car.
I think.
Okay, so you turn to get yours. If he's unarmed, which he is,
P.S.
why is he going to be?
I don't know. Maybe
Now
he thinks
you-
I'm unarmed.
I mean, not for nothing, too, right? Like, I can't think of a single reason or even instance where this has happened, where someone uses a shotgun for self-defense, especially playing the racist angle. Like, they're going to be, shady revolvers and or semi-automatic handguns with their serial numbers filed off because they're concealable. You can take them in places. You can hide them under clothing.
What 17-year-old is going to carry around a shotgun?
Oh, fuck. And not only that, like, his story started out as like a single barrel. So it's not even like a pump action where you could hypothetically cover yourself and get out alive with 8 or 9 shells. He's saying it was a single barrel. So what's he going to do with, like, he fired 1 round of birdshot at me, and then when he cracked the barrel and the thing flew out, the shell, and I was able to put 14 rounds in him because guess what? It's not 1912.
Right.
The fuck? Or stick. Unlimited amount of splinters.
The sticks, yes.
The sad fact of it is he's telling me he's going to kill me.
Sad fact.
You're dead, bitch.
Just
Have
like
you asked him to turn the radio down?
See, that's the part where I don't understand.
And you know what?
Yeah, that's the part I wasn't able to, like, figure a reasonable justification for. So I just thought I would shrug my shoulders and you guys would go like, well, you're the white guy in the situation. You know, clunk, clunk.
Yeah.
And you go home and let Charlie out.
And I'll tell
You
you,
were getting really agitated.
I understand it because believe me, we deal with guys who.
If someone tried to kill me, I wouldn't say that he was really agitated. He went fucking crazy and tried to kill me.
Yeah.
I've had to deal with agitated people. Never shot any of them.
You ask them to turn their radio down, they would get out of the car and shoot you. We deal with those kind of dudes all the time.
We're in Florida, right?
Here's what I can almost bet you a year of my salary on. When you got into
I would bet you a year of my salary on
confrontation with those guys, a man of your stature, if there was a gun in that truck, they would have shot you.
Exactly.
They wouldn't have had to get out. They would have shot right through. They would have shot from the truck just like you were shooting from your car.
Because you guys are, when you're directly next to
They
each
have
other.
the beam on you. The truck is like.
Right, because why are you okay shooting through your window, but they're like, nope, gotta open the door, don't want to
Get out.
You know, a new painted glass for a let's say a 97 Dodge Durango is gonna be like $13. You want to get out and not waste that money. But again, it was down, so yeah. What's up with that story, Michael?
The truck is actually higher than your car.
I'm in front with the front passenger.
And we can tell you another thing from working murders in Jacksonville. People don't get out of the car to be seen when they're shooting someone.
No shit.
They're going to shoot you right side of that truck.
They're smarter than you.
He's getting out of his car. We're this close to.
Like that's the thing. Like here, it's at this point you've changed your story and nothing makes sense. So why not just be like, yeah, sometimes it's frustrating and sometimes it's just like, what? It's confounding for them to look at them, meaning the suspects, to look at not only the evidence, but the common sense applied to it by a detective. And they go, yeah, I agree, but.
Yeah.
And that but is, the asterisk on that but is my IQ is so low, I can't simply make a simple concession to say, yeah. So you go, yeah, that all makes sense, and that's exactly what I would do in any other situation. But
here's the thing.
How do you do that?
To each other. He was getting out of his car.
He wouldn't.
After repeatedly telling me that he was going to kill me.
Right, because maybe in Michael's mind, he thinks that, like, getting out of the car is that shows aggression.
Yeah.
But then why not just be like, oh, maybe I thought maybe the car door was opening, but it was actually the barrel of the stick and or single shot cap and ball musket that was apparently in the fucking. Like there was a blunderbuss, right? He pulled it up and it was just this huge, trumpet horn of gun, and I saw the wick burning in the back, and I knew it was only a matter of time before he hit that hammer and the black powder ignited. So that's why I had the time to reach over, undo the glove compartment, pull my gun out, kiss my gun, lick it down the barrel, give it a rack, and say, "Not today, bitch," and then fire 8 shots. Mm-hmm. Only because he was working with technology from the 1740s. Or a stick.
So, is he going to bite my ear off or shoot me with a
Is he
Bad
Mike
time.
Tyson?
Yeah, he. Dude, like
God.
one of the worst times to like pull a David Letterman, Jay Leno style like late night middle of America joke. Don't be like, yeah, I didn't know if the African American kids that I killed, one of, were going to get out, invade my car, and try to ingest part of my body. Maybe a bad audience
Yeah.
for this,
Yeah.
Michael.
With a shotgun, I wasn't too concerned about how he intended to do it.
Now, and I'll tell you this: we talked to the other guys in the
about
car,
your-
and they will all admit, they will all tell us. That was his name. He said, "Yep, didn't like the fact he told him to turn the music down. He wasn't happy about that. He didn't like the fact that some stranger's telling him to turn his music down. He's 17. He's a teenager. Okay, you know what teenagers are. They're a little hard-headed sometimes, especially when they're out on their own.
You fucking shot at a group of kids
Yeah.
as an adult.
And did he throw some F-bombs at you? Basically tell you to go fuck yourself multiple times?
Probably.
Absolutely.
I
They
would have
said,
done
"Yep,
that
he
shit.
was jaw-jacked."
I'm as straight-laced and lame as it comes, but if some fucking Michael Dunn-looking motherfucker rolled up next to me in a gas station parking lot and said, turn your music down, I would have no qualms about being like, fuck you. And I'm a pussy.
back and forth with that guy. But at no time did any of them say, well, okay, he did say he was going to kill him. Because it makes no sense, because what's he going to do? He's not armed. What's he going to, I'm going to kill you and get out of a car. And we're talking about a kid. You know how many times that kid's been to jail?
0.
Never.
Sorry, never.
He
Not
has
never.
no history
How many times? Never. How many pieces of pizza have you eaten? Never.
of violence, and it's not like we're getting
Only thing
some
this
street
kid
thug.
has is a truancy in school.
We're not talking about a violent kid here. He has no track record. There are guys in Jacksonville who I'd go, okay, I believe that, because they got track records. This kid ain't got no track record. The kid sitting next to him doesn't have a track record. The kid sitting in front of him doesn't have a
The
track
kid
record.
in the store doesn't have one.
Again, I saw a barrel. I was headed home and I felt threatened, and I've never been scareder in my entire pasty, pale, pathetic,
Shorts wearing life.
clammy, sweaty, balding life. Never, sir. Never in my life than that day in front of those 17-year-olds. Me at 49, 52, 67, whatever.
Track record. None of them do. The driver's got a little bit. Stole a car when he was younger.
No.
That's it. These aren't violent guys.
Isn't it like Grand Larson?
They pull up so the driver can run in and buy cigarettes. It's the only reason they're even there. They just got back from going to the mall. That's it.
They were at
So
Spencer's.
I have a hard time buying how he. I can totally see him talking shit to you. I can see that. But
I love this guy. Tell you to go fuck yourself? Yeah, absolutely.
to take it to a level that he's threatening to end your life when he can't. There's no way he can. He doesn't have anything.
I didn't know that.
I know.
That's all the reason
That's
that
all
you not knowing that is all the reason why you took your next step too far.
Yeah, the problem is you went
That's
from
why
0
you're
to
here.
100 without ever getting to 50.
I have a guy very irate saying he wants me dead. Well, if the other guys aren't corroborating, I'm sorry, but that's what
I'm sorry.
That's the so like the crusty white guy version of like they gonna say what they gonna say is like, if they aren't corroborating my story, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like everybody, fucking Gabriel Renee said that shit. It was like, well, everybody's saying that you're guilty, and what's the jury gonna think? What's the judge gonna think? Well, they gonna think what they gonna think. They gonna say what they gonna say. It's like the other side of that coin. Where you're like, it's the braggadocious. Like, I don't give a fuck. They can say whatever. I know I'm bulletproof. Where it's like, well, with Michael Dunn here, it's like, well, if they didn't say exactly what I said, I'm sorry. But as you can tell, since the neighborhood stays lighter longer where I live. So please, can you let me go? I was scared. How many times am I going to tell you this?
Charlie. Think of Charlie.
I was scared. The door opened. There might have been a stick or a gun or a blunderbuss. They said, bitch. They allowed me 17 minutes to pull my gun out.
And understand, too, there's people in the parking lot that can hear what's going on, too.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
Not one of them. We have what's called independent witnesses.
Yeah, not associated.
I understand. I wasn't sure that I heard him right. That's why are you, is this directed towards me? You're going to kill me?
And that happens to be an exact quote of, are you talking to me? That was an exact quote. Guys with the truck said. He said something to the effect of, are you talking to me?
Yes.
So that's dead on. Yeah, he was talking to you. He's basically telling you to go fuck yourself, and I'm going to turn the music back up.
Yeah. No,
You're damn right.
It was already up. And
It was already up, detective. Like, get your story straight.
he's talking.
Doesn't Michael Dunn feel like a gender specific It's Pat? Like if you maybe it's just me, but I've seen the movie It's Pat, and I've also seen it on Saturday Night Live. But Michael Dunn feels like a definitively male Pat. Does that make sense to anybody? I'll
No,
take your
but
answer
he
off.
reminds me of the way he talks, and the way you're portraying the way he talks reminds me of Kenny when he's dressed in the big fat suit riding around in that episode.
Oh, from Kenny versus Penny. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely. he's definitely like Kenny Hotz in a mild fat suit.
I fucking hate Kenny so much, and
But
it makes
this
me
is
so
Kenny
mad.
Hotz if he put on like a murderer's suit, a racist murderer's
Kill the
suit.
guy. And the
I just can't understand, if the music is up to the point where you ask them to turn it down, how can you also hear the conversation that they're having?
Dude,
It's not
Rusty.
making any sense.
Right.
He's livid. He's not talking. He's
See, he went from agitated to irate. Now he's livid.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, every time Dunn talks about himself speaking to them, it's like, you're talking to me, to now it's like, are you referring to me when speaking about murder? And like, their language is devolving to the point of like simple guttural grunts.
Yeah.
And he's giving Geoffrey Chaucer soliloquies through his window before he shoots these poor children. Because they're children. He killed a kid.
It just dawned on me that he
yelling.
sounds exactly like the character Ed Harley in Fletch Lives.
Fletch Lives. I have not seen Fletch Lives, but I'll take your word for it. Or the guy who, Rod, you know this reference. Come the fuck on. But you know in Dirty Work where he hires, did Norm Macdonald and Art Lang hire all those homeless people to like mess with us? And like the guy's giving this little like, you know, my dignity or whatever. And Norm Macdonald goes, here's your $2. He's that guy. But like less earnest and more of a piece of shit. You know, here's your $2.
and my window's up and I can hear him. I'm not making out all the words, but then
So, do you think it could have been the song? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Ron?
Yes!
I knew you'd fucking get that
I
shit.
hear
Here's your $2.
kill that son of a bitch or kill that motherfucker, I think is what he was saying.
It was either son of a bitch or motherfucker. But like, no, but Ron, remember the part where they're putting... where... No, McDonald and I, like, you're putting all the dead fish in that like mob dude's house or whatever. And like, they're standing there and they're like, ah, and like, all the gunfire goes off and like there's a total massacre. And it's like, is that a grenade? And like, there's a huge explosion. They're standing there holding the dead fish. They drop it and they walk through all the blood and all the sneakers walking. Oh my God. What a great movie. Poor Norm Macdonald. Dead as a doornail and Artie Lang not much better.
How do you know it was him saying it?
Well, when I put the window down and I asked him, he
Fucking
said
great.
the same thing. Yeah, kill a motherfucker. And then when he was opening his door, that's when he said, "You're dead, bitch." And you know, when you say he didn't have a weapon, he's on the ground and you put something up on the thing and then gets out. I thought it was a shotgun, or a stick, or some kind of weapon. But he's
Here's the thing, man. If I were in my car, they were in their car, and dude produces a stick, has not left his car yet, I'm not pulling my gun. He can wail on my car all he wants with that stick. I'm not going to kill him.
He's
Right.
confrontational
Okay.
and using words like, I'm going to kill you and you're dead.
And bitch.
And I didn't know he's 17. I thought he was a full-grown man. I thought
Yeah, I thought he was at least 18. Another year and I'd have a clean conscience, but, you know, he's dead.
they all were. And in my mind, they're all going to get out of this truck.
And then after I kill them, another fleet of SUVs is going to show up unless I can, you know, Mission Impossible drive through the streets of Morocco away from all these hoarding teenagers who want to kill me for, again, no reason. It's not like you're a super spy. You're not carrying bullion or bearer bonds or government secrets. There's no titanium briefcase on your wrist, like with a shackle.
And shoot me or beat me.
You know,
or
had that
kill
been the
me
case, we would
somehow.
have a different argument.
Maybe.
If anyone been out of the truck, walking towards you in any type of threatening manner, we would have a
We were
totally different.
parked right next to each other.
Yes.
I know you were.
There-
Right, because you
in the
parked-
car still.
You chose the spot next to them. That would be like getting into the same stall as someone, like in a urinal, and like trying to squeeze your dick next to theirs and then getting pissed off at them when they don't like seeing your penis.
There was no
So-
walking. It was him getting out and then he was an arm reach from me.
Yeah,
Or,
but here,
But if he was walking, I would have shot him still.
Yeah.
those cars are so close to each other, though. Him getting out, it's going to be
He's
hard for
stupid.
him to get out because he's back away from you. His door opens up. He's actually going to be shielding himself from where you are because you're closer up to the driver.
all these things you're saying are great, but
Are
This is great.
That's great. You know, everything that you say that conforms with reality and how humans would typically react given the pattern of existence is great, but there was a stink. Like I would love at some point if this were blown out to like the 11 on the comedy scale, it would go from like a shot, like a double barrel side by side shotgun to a single barrel to a stick to like a branch where like there were leaves, like something he just literally cut off an ash tree that was still like shedding leaves and seed
Yeah.
pods.
He's scratching his
you know,
paint, the leaves.
see,
I feel like I've been off my analogy game lately, Rod. So it's nice to be back in the game.
I didn't analyze all these things. I got the shit scared out of me.
I know.
And some guys
Oh, I know.
Check my seat. My Volkswagen now has a brown racing stripe.
coming at me,
Nope.
telling me what he's gonna do or wants to do.
I'm gonna kill you, bitch.
He's what's his nuts?
It's sticker time.
Bitch.
Freddy Krueger?
I reacted.
You can remember Freddy Krueger? It's what's his nuts, bitch. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
I'm sitting here telling you guys I was in fear for my life.
That's great.
Meh.
But you're a pasty idiot who gets afraid of probably everything. And I doubt your boss has 9mm slugs in his gut because he asked you for a TPS report.
Right.
I honestly was. I have so much going on in my personal life. The last thing I
Doesn't
want to
matter.
do is be in trouble.
Well-
I don't want to cause you guys a sleepless night. I don't want to lose
Don't worry
my
about that.
freedom.
It already happened.
You know, I don't want to cause you guys a sleepless night. That's the most important thing. Or at the other end of that scale, maybe the least important, snuff out a young life full of potential. But most of all, you guys should get a good night's rest.
Yeah.
Especially you, white detective. You racist piece of shit, Michael.
This is what we do. Don't worry about that. This is what we do.
Don't worry
I mean,
about that.
the last thing I'm looking for is trouble. The
Oh,
last
The last thing.
right. If the last thing I were looking for is trouble, the first thing on my list would be not to shoot 8 rounds into a car that didn't deserve it.
Correct.
thing.
Last thing on my list.
You don't think
I have
it's like
lawn-
asking someone to turn their music down in a public place?
Absolutely, that was stupid of me. Around here, I don't
If
think
you
any...
do process and elimination, Had you not done that, then we wouldn't be here today, right? Just young kids
Absolutely.
running around.
So isn't it funny that like a question as simple as that, like, hey, if you hadn't have done that, we wouldn't be here. And he goes, absolutely. And Michael doesn't know that he's admitting 100% fault.
Yeah.
Model citizen. Yeah, him and Michael Dredgka are on they're on the same HOA.
Give him the key to the city.
Except it was wrapped in golden foil and it was chocolate and he's eating it since.
Absolutely. I
Do you think you overreacted?
No.
well,
No.
I think I got the shit scared out of me a little bit, and
Being a pussy does not justify you killing people. Listen up, middle-aged white people in any time frame. There will always be white people. They will become middle-aged and want to buy a gun and shoot someone. Just because you are personally scared by the world, the internet, credit card scammers, or Indian telemarketers, you can't just fucking shoot someone for it.
you know, if we want to say because somebody's dead, hell yes, that was.
Well, no, not even somebody who's dead. Let's say nobody even gets hit. You think you overreacted? What if you just hit the car a bunch of times and they drove off with a bunch of bullet holes in their car?
Speed holes, we call them.
Sir, from where I was sitting, a
Sir?
shotgun was coming up at me.
Don't answer the question with bullshit. Do you think it was an overreaction if you hadn't killed someone? Is the question. It's a yes or no question and an explanation, right? So if you go, do you think that? Yes or no? Sir, I think I saw a shotgun, and at that point, you've already failed the test. Go to jail.
And so, I don't want to sound
Yes or no, Michael?
like an asshole, but if it happened again tomorrow,
I'd still kill that child. I would ruin the life of his family, his poor parents, and all of his friends again tomorrow if he played Digital Underground anywhere above 32 decibels. And the next day, if his mom did it, I'd kill her too. Nice, Michael.
where a shotgun was coming up, I think I would do the same.
No, stop saying that.
And you know what,
Not be
Mr.
afraid
Dunn?
to do the same.
If there was a shotgun coming up at you, we would expect you to do what you did.
That would have been not for nothing, the magic bullet, right? Mm-hmm. If any of them had a gun, they would have been like, hey, guess what? Yeah, we buy it. 'Cause there was-
Self-defense.
But there wasn't. And no matter how many times, even if, here's the thing. Let's say the least of these stories was true and there was a stick. What?
The
There was a
problem that
stick.
we have is that there is no shotgun. That's the bridge that we got to get across.
But was there a stick?
Instead,
No.
you keep dwelling on the shotgun as if there was one at the scene. If there was a shotgun, a BB gun, any type of gun at the scene. Hell, if it was a water gun that was black, they looked real at the scene.
Like I said, it was a barrel. Could have been just a stick, but I mean, it was.
Here's the thing, guys.
Why would you have a
Fuck.
stick in your car?
And not only that, but I'm not going to profess that I'm some sort of firearms expert. But given my limited knowledge, and I would even put this on Kristen, given even less knowledge and experience, that if I were to pull an object from under a table, hold it up for a second and a half, and then remove it from her vision, replacing it under the table, and I said, what was that? A stick or a shotgun? She would be able to identify that object 10 out of 10 times.
Thanks. I think so too.
It was.
Could it have been your imagination?
It certain. Well, no.
Sure. What?
I did have 17 rum and cokes at my son's
I mean,
wedding.
have you guys seen Eureka's Castle with that giant dragon? He was there, so ask him.
I mean, anything's possible, I guess, but
It's great defense.
Yep.
No. Well, anything. Like, here's the thing. When you're talking about ghosts or aliens or Bigfoot or the Mothman, I'm fine with throwing out an anything's possible. When they go, hey, is it possible that they didn't have a gun and you're just a racist hillbilly in Florida? Yeah, what, you know.
Rod says, more importantly, did your shoe stay on under the table in that scenario?
Not today, Rod.
Him coming out of his car was not my imagination. And it was
It was. The camera and all the witnesses prove that.
right after I saw that he started coming out of his car and saying, "You're dead, bitch."
When you went and grabbed your gun, racked it, and came back around, what were you shooting at? Did you acquire a target or did you just start shooting?
I shot at the door.
Which door?
Here's the thing. Even I don't have any friends in the military or whatever, but you know, I'm related to assholes, and you know, we would go out shooting. And here's the thing: never, ever, whether it was advice given by somebody with experience or my own personal experience or lack thereof, never did I go out to any range, professional or BLM land or anywhere in between where I would set up a target, whether it be objects or the clay pigeons or the body facsimiles. Never in my life was I ever inclined to just like blur my vision and shoot in the direction of the
Right.
target.
Somewhere.
I would always acquire something with my vision using my mind that I wanted the bullet to hit. Whether I hit it or not is beyond the point. I would feel reckless and irresponsible, even at a range or out in the desert alone as a single person. Nobody around me within 100 miles. I would feel irresponsible if my aim was to just hope that in the direction I was shooting, the thing I was aiming at got hit.
Right. Right.
And there's no stress.
The rear passenger,
You shot at his door.
yes,
What was the purpose of that?
saved my life.
From the door?
Firearm
No.
safety 101. The first 15 seconds is like, get a target.
Right, yeah. It's like the you know, Rod, you probably know the 21-foot rule, that bullshit thing that's not actually a rule, but people like, you know, you've got 21 feet for someone with a knife to come at you. And in Michael Dunn's mind, that 21 feet takes somewhere between 45 and 87 seconds to close.
He was coming out of his door, and then I guess he went back.
It would be as if someone at the end of a 100-meter dash, like, brandished a knife and you had binoculars and you're able to see it. And they come running and you go, oh my God, I've got 90 seconds to live unless I take action.
But that's where he was.
Let's just
Prior.
say, hypothetically, you and him exchange words, he opened the door to go in the store to use the bathroom.
He wouldn't have said, "You're dead, bitch," and then...
I'm just saying.
Well, then I guess I would be in trouble if that was the case.
Yeah, well, guess what? You're in trouble anyway.
Thank God I'm not in trouble. Right, guys?
Can I leave now?
Guys?
You guys are blocking me
I'm not
from the
going to jail
exit.
for the rest of my pathetic, pasty life, am I? Right? I'm not going to have to...
Guys? White
Am I
detective?
going to be the prison wife, or can I get one of my own?
But that's not what happened.
And
Yes, sir.
she's in the store.
Yes,
So
sir.
she's not privy to any of this. She doesn't
No,
see any of this.
She is livid.
She's basically standing at the counter.
She is livid. She's so mad that I shot someone. Boy, oh boy. I was in the doghouse that night. I
Well, we
and
got pizza.
Not much time afterwards, obviously, because you guys pulled AR-15s on me and
Yeah.
dragged me out of my house.
All of a sudden, she starts hearing gunshots. Okay.
So many gunshots and she leaves.
Oh, another thing about this too is like as in the courtroom footage when they're when she's on the stand and they're talking to her, he like all of this is like enough, right? He's building the coffin with finished nails and sanding it down, and it all looks very great. It wasn't until the end when I saw this piece of footage where the fiance was like, at the end of all this, we all know this. when he pulled into the parking lot and chose to park next to that car with the loud music, he looked over to his fiance and goes, I hate that rap shit.
Oh, good.
So, like, it may be the most liberal version of premeditation available, but I would give it a shot for old Michael here.
All right.
Use the line. Look how it
Yeah, paid for it, and left the wine and chips. Didn't even take it with her. Because at that point, and is going out the door going something, basically calling your name.
She said,
Yeah, she left her $2 chuck and her Vicky's potato chips. Because she was like, great, gunshots, it's got to be Michael.
Yeah.
that the first volley
Don't
they
rub your
heard,
knee.
and then when I got out of the car, they said, "Oh, it's the guy in the black car," and
That was
she
me.
thought it was me, and you know,
They said it? So, why would you say that, Michael? Like, why? Again, because you're stupid.
Yep.
But why be like, yeah, in between the first volley of 4 shots and the second volley of 4 shots, somebody said to her, it's the guy in the black car.
She's
She
like,
was in the
shit.
store. And you were able somehow to understand and receive this information? Mm-hmm. It's the guy in the black car. And you go, whoop, pow, pow, pow. Because you had to hear that and then fire 4 more shots. Mm-hmm. So you go, yeah, it is the guy in the black car. You racked it again for the movie, like the action movie aspect
drama.
of it all. But then, you know, the unfired round flew out and you're like, oh, now I can't fire that into an unsuspecting teenager in cold blood.
she told me this later. She goes, "I was telling them it's okay."
It's okay.
It's okay.
He's my future husband.
He's been trained.
If he shoots 9 times, we have a problem. But he's assured me that 8 or less, no big deal. Forgot my wine.
I know that
There's
guy.
not a. You guys are safe.
What?
One guy were safe. It definitely wasn't the guys in the truck.
Well, the people inside the store.
Imagine, because like she didn't know that. Like, because again, according to his story, by way of her, she knew that it was him shooting at those kids. She obviously inferred that.
Yeah.
Because she was able to understand, according to his story, she was able to infer that he was shooting at the African American children because she knew he would. And all the people in the convenience store, probably mostly white, safe.
Yep.
It's a great narrative, Michael. God damn, you should write children's books. My kid will love it.
Let me,
I feel really bad about the boys in the truck. You
Do
guys,
you?
I really do. If I could
and let me,
undo
I'll
this, I
let
would.
I mean, you apologized for us for not sleeping before you apologized or even entertained the idea of being sorry about killing a child.
Right.
in just from doing our investigation. We are so lucky. Really, there should be 3 of those 4 should have been hit.
Seriously. The only thing that saved those poor children is that Michael Dunn, thankfully, all of his military friends and police quasi-experience and being around all those, he was a shit shot. Like, the shot that killed the kid in the back, I think it hit him in the... Oh, crap. There's so many. But, like, he was such a shitty shot, it wasn't, like, anything other than accidental.
3 of those 4. You could have 3 dead guys right now. Okay. Luckily for the guy in the front seat, his door stopped the bullets.
Which is wild.
They entered the door, but they didn't go all the way in because the front door's got bullet holes in it. Okay. And there's another one you shot when you were doing the suppression fire, basically, to keep their heads down as they're driving away. You put one in the back of the car. There's several shots directly into the rear of the truck. And one of them comes zinging in through the back and goes right up and hits the sun visor where the driver is as he's driving out. Didn't miss his noggin by much. You know, so we could very easily have 3 victims at this point. Luckily,
Like, I am not involved in this at all. This happened in 2012. And as this detective is saying this, like, it's choking me up. Like, holy shit, dude. And Michael's like, yeah, well, boy, oh boy. Like, woo. Like, the energy of, like, come on, dude. Not white.
This poor kid was shot. He started firing at the door and hit him in the lungs and his legs.
Yeah. Because that's the thing I was unsure
And the
about. I wanted
aorta.
to say it was hitting the chest or the legs, but since it was both,
Yeah.
I want to say like he bled out like super fast. It was like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being like, because it's one thing to be like, on one end, like maybe you have a terminal illness, you know, like death is coming in 6 months. You have plenty of time to prepare. Or on the other side of that coin, the extreme is like, Michael Dunn started firing. The kid didn't realize what was going on and was just snuffed out. Like that 45 seconds of terror, knowing that what happened, and then feeling the life drain from your own body as the last people around you fade into darkness. And Michael Dunn's just like,
There was a
Charlie.
Luckily, those guys didn't get hit or any way, shape. They're all fine, except for the
physically.
Yeah, right.
the poor guy who's pretty much was dead right there.
Seriously.
It didn't take him long. He was gone. It's, you know, I'm just letting you know we're just, and like I said, we see a lot of scenarios, and we deal with threatening situations. I mean, it's not,
It's Florida.
we deal with them all the time where somebody defends themselves. I mean, we do. And there are clear-cut cases where you go, yep, sure did, buddy. You know, you defended.
Hey there, buddy. You pat them on the back, you hand them back their gun, and they go
See
back
you
to
later.
living life. But seriously, what the fuck, dude?
Yourself, have a nice day. You know?
Yeah, great day.
But let me be the
I mean, not for nothing. Like, we all pat the back of the dude who kills the justifiable homicide with self-defense, or he saved a restaurant or a bank or whatever. But even then, even if I were a hero and everybody's patting me on the back going, woohoo, like, I still killed someone.
Right.
No matter how many parades and, like, confetti they would throw over the body of the dead man and call me a hero, I would still be like, that's fucked.
let me be the first to tell you,
This ain't one of them.
not one of them.
Definitely not.
Unfortunately, this is not one of them.
Not even close.
Okay? Because unfortunately, we have between the witnesses and we even, yeah, they're friends of the guy in there, but they've got their perception of what's going on. But there's other people there who fill in blanks for us, who are independent.
Cameras too, P.S.
And we haven't had anybody even hint to us that one was getting out of the car, two, that anybody heard any actual physical threats to anybody. There are some F-bombs getting dropped.
Because you're a
Kill
dick.
that motherfucker. I mean, did they concentrate on the F-bomb and miss out on the verb?
Kill.
I'm just telling you what people
Yeah, whenever someone says, I will kill you, motherfucker, it's just like a whoo, right until the F-bomb.
Yeah.
And I go, what?
tell us. We ask them, what did you hear? Because I show up at a scene and I don't know anything about what happened. We just start going, what did you see? What did you hear?
Mm-hmm.
What did you see? What did you hear? Because you might hear something different. You might hear something different, see something different. You know, everybody
It's because witnesses are wildly unreliable.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have to rely on them much.
sees things through their own little, and believe me, we've done this long enough that other witnesses see things, can see the same thing, and totally get it wrong. You know, two different stories when you get it from them. That's why we try to talk to everybody else.
Sure.
Give me a break real quick. I want to check my photographs and see if I can find what that is you're talking about, so I can show you and see if you can remember what it is that you think you saw him with.
Show me that stick shadow.
It was literally nothing. There wasn't a stick. There wasn't a gun. It wasn't anything. It's so annoying. Listen, we're going to skip ahead a little bit because obviously he never saw the light of freedom again. He was arrested after this, went through the trial, and is
First degree murder.
rotting away in... so he did get first?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was second. So yeah.
Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure it was first degree murder.
Right, because he...
Yeah.
you know, thank God for Florida and their leniency toward, but that's the thing. It
He
feels
lost
like
his appeal.
he's been railroaded too. But yeah, it does feel like first degree because if you roll into a place and you see and hear something and walk up to it and provoke it, I would say that's fucking first degree.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck you, Michael Dunn, you racist piece of shit. Let's just skip ahead a little bit to watch him get handcuffed, and we'll be
Restroom.
out
please.
of here.
Okay.
What a sack of shit. And they just like, that's the thing. I don't know if it would be worse or better if he had adopted a more aggressive stance, because he's right. So like whatever the prime meridian is, I would say Sarah Boone is right on the other side of the aggressive, where it's like, yeah, it happened, but it was an accident, so fucking leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Dunn's on the other side of that coin, just the same amount in as Sarah Boone, being like, they were coming to get me and I had to do what I did. It's the same sort of conviction in the bullshit. It's like, well, it was an accident. Well, I had to.
Yeah.
There's no real belief in either of that.
Right.
But what else is Sarah or Michael going to say?
Well, now, not to talk about Sarah Boone, but now her new lawyer is trying to go toward battered spouse syndrome or battered wife, whatever.
Yeah, I guess by lawyer age in year 15 with no trial.
Right.
Let's just try anything.
Yeah.
Try the Twinkie defense, Sarah. Like, who gives a fuck?
Just hold on. They'll tell you what they want you to do.
Look how wrinkled this shirt is.
You don't have to put your hands on the wall, Michael. Nice back porch. And the thing about Michael is, like, even with the aid of a lawyer and probably weeks, if not months of coaching, his story is as believable in the courtroom as it is here.
Yeah.
Except, I don't know what's worse. Like, when you see a bad actor in, like, a school play, there are a couple of types of bad actors. The type of bad actor who is reading the lines but doesn't give a fuck because they're just doing it for the credit or whatever. Or the person reading the lines who's putting too much on it and sucks the opposite way. Here in the interrogation, it's like, well, we're far out there, Juliet. Now, where is the orange drink at the end of the play? And then at the other end, when he's in the trial, it's like, oh, God, Juliet is the son. And he's like throwing himself all over the stage. And the people, the jury members and the judge in the courtroom are going like, I can't believe I showed up for this shit. Like, a matinee would have been half the price.
Right.
Anyway, that's Michael Dunn, a real piece of shit who, like everybody else who does this, got scared and used a weapon unnecessarily. Because that's the thing. Being scared is universal. I'm scared a lot. I don't want to kill anybody, though. That might be the difference. Yeah. I think if you're scared and want to kill someone, it makes it easy. If you're scared and don't want to kill anybody, you probably won't. I've made it 40 years. No homicides. An unbroken record. You know? But, that's just me. Hopefully we'll take that to the grave. Anyway, that's all I got for you today, guys. Michael Dunn is in the books. Still rotting in jail. R.I.P. Florida. But that's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact that Florida releases all their stuff because it makes it so much easier for everybody. When you have to like ask and it's like hidden behind some sort of privacy act. Here's the thing. Is there such a thing as a deterrent? I believe there isn't. So whether we say yay or nay to releasing all the information of a criminal as a deterrent or not, like the death penalty wasn't a deterrent. Murder, robbery, it all still happens no matter what punishment we enforce. So why not, since it's not going to stop anything anyway, give us normies access to the shit we want? I mean, obviously if it's with children or whatever, keep that on lock. But like, dudes like Gabriel Renee or fucking what's his nuts here, or Federico or Julio what's his nuts or Sarah. What's maybe with a little caveat, Sarah, Nancy Brophy.
Caveat.
Let's say maybe they're in jail. Everything just goes wholesale. Every municipality across the country should have a YouTube channel that everything gets dumped to after the case is closed and they are found guilty. If they're innocent, don't release it.
Right.
As soon as Nancy Brophy's jail cell goes and that big key goes clunk, boom, you hit upload.
Mm-hmm. Just so like an automatic.
Right. It's not going to make anything any better. It's just going to make it easier for me to find material.
Sure.
But that's it. Thank you so much for showing up, guys. Next week, we'll have a little more commercials on Wednesday and a little more true crime on Friday. And I know I keep threatening that we're going to do Russell Williams, and someday we will. It's on the list.
Someday we'll take a month and do it.
It won't go more than 2. I can't do more than 2 because not only will you be bored, I'll be bored, and we all know how Russell Williams shakes out. It's mostly just for Jim Smith that we're there. That being said, thanks so much. We'll see you on another episode of FFOP Radio. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.